events on the main stage there up at the Liberty Memorial. When I was there on Thursday, her and Kimmy Chex were hosting that. So we'll check in on the Kansas City aspect of the World Cup with Jillian Carroll coming up around 12:30 today. We also, of course, will talk plenty about, as you said, the NBA Finals wrapped up with the Knicks getting their first championship in 53 years. We'll actually go out to somebody that hosts for ESPN New York in the 1 o'clock hour today just to check in. Is the city still standing, honestly, after the celebration? And, of course, the parade, which I can only imagine how insane that's going to be on Thursday in Manhattan. I mean, I don't know what the parade route looks like, but is it like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade route?
Safety.
I'm not sure what it is. Bank again. Bank. This happened. Drew, this is gonna. I forgot all about it. It was gonna happen. Of course, it's a tradition unlike any other.
That was staged.
Bank is filling in, and of course, within the first 5 minutes of the show, he forgot his computer, the audio. We cannot have his computer on.
There could have been
Drew.
a lot worse things, but yes, it's off now.
Oh my goodness. I am convinced she did it on purpose now. You know what? I'm convinced Bink is just doing it to mess with us at this point in time.
Maybe so.
We're going to have that computer muted for the next week and a half or so, man. Thinking of Bink for a second. Now I want to talk about the Royals where things keep getting worse for them. I do want to talk about the Knicks. I want to talk World Cup. We got a lot to get into. You guys know the video stream is up and running in 4K on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. The J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965. Can we help out Bink? Drew, don't you think we need to do this right away? Because
I think I know what you're talking about, but
I
don't know if I do.
I think you know where I'm going with this. The minute I sat down today, around 8:30-ish, 8:25, then in our meeting, then 5 minutes ago, then to somebody else in the office, can we please get the AT&T cell tower, internet tower restored next to Jay Binkley's house, please? I mean, Bink has had no internet for 24 hours.
It's been a while.
Okay. And have you called them multiple times?
I have not.
Really? I'm shocked.
shocked as well. I'm
You have to
shocked as
understand,
well.
Storm's not crapping down, so,
I'm shocked.
That's amazing. You haven't called customer service
I
yet.
haven't.
That's usually your favorite thing to do.
You forget the phone wouldn't work.
Wait, why wasn't the phone working?
That's a fair point.
Was it an internet down or cell outage?
Both.
Oh.
So there's no using the phone.
Okay.
It was everything's out. So it wasn't just the internet.
Somebody else in your
everything.
neighborhood has to be obviously feeling the same way. You have told us numerous times this morning how concerned you are about this.
No, it just pisses me off more than anything.
It was the weather, right? You live up north, so
Yeah.
you dealt with the crappy storms we had on Saturday night, which we're going to talk about later on,
Yeah.
and how it impacted your sports watching.
Yeah.
You know, very important stuff.
Yeah, very important because it was a great sports weekend.
It was. All right, let's start with the part that wasn't great, though. How about that? The part that wasn't great was the Royals, once again, where things just keep getting worse for this team. Now, as they sit 29-43, they lose Vinny Pasquantino for 4 to 6 weeks, fractured his right hamate. This is an injury that I think we all know enough about at this point in time where it's 4 to 6 weeks. And then when you come back, it usually takes longer to get the power back on top of that. Like, as in,
We should know what a hamate is, but we clearly do with this team.
Yeah, no, but like it's become, I think, who was it? For Jose Ramirez for the Guardians had it just the day, like hours earlier or the day before. So it takes a while for his power to come back. That in its own right sucks for the person. We all like Vinny Pasquantino on this show. Unfortunately for him, he's missed now significant time in 3 of the last 5 years. That's just reality. We find out that Cole Reagans maybe had a little bit of a setback. You know, they have to call up John Rave. Cags is playing first base. All of that is unfortunate. But I still say this, and I mentioned it a week ago, Bink, and I don't know where you're at on it. Do not let the injuries fool you, though, in terms of how this season is playing out. That the injuries cannot and should not, and frankly, I will not let it on this show, be the excuse for the 2026 Kansas City Royals. This team was not making the playoffs long before Seth Lugo, Chris Bubich, Cole Reagans, Vinny Pasquantino suffered injuries. Their only difference now is, I wonder, are they headed towards a 100-loss season? I think they're pacing for 96 losses as it sits. And it sucks. Again, I don't want anybody to get hurt, and obviously we love Vinny, but the injuries to these players, I do not want to sit here the rest of the summer, and I sure as hell don't want to hear it in October and November from fans or the organization that, look, what do you know? we had this injury and that injury, this team was already well under 500 long before the injury bug hit them.
They can, but what about Cleveland? What's Cleveland say without Ramirez? Because Ramirez is that team. Like that's a legitimate excuse for them, right? With Ramirez out, because that guy does everything for that team. But with the Royals, you have to look at it differently because these things continue to mount up. Jose Ramirez is usually healthy, but he's hurt. So obviously this is going to affect Cleveland because he is everything to that team. But for the Royals, they deal with this stuff. It seems like it's like Bubic last year. I know he's, making the rehab start now. Cole Reagans was down. Vinny gets hurt. It's just the same thing the Royals have to be counting on because you have to be thinking about this team and say, there's no way this team is staying healthy.
Yeah, some of these guys, unfortunately,
these injuries just mount up. So you can't use an excuse anymore because it just keeps happening.
Yeah, well, you can't use it as an excuse because the team was already bad before the injuries. But what you're kind of saying is, unfortunately, there is a track record with some of these names. It's not out of nowhere that Chris Bubic got hurt again. I mean, this has unfortunately been the story of his career. It's not out of nowhere that Cole Reagans got hurt. And I hate to say it, I really do. It's not out of nowhere that Vinny Pasquantino got hurt. It's just 3 out of the 5 years that he's been with the Royals, he's had significant games missed. You can call it a fluky injury a couple years ago, right before the playoffs. Okay, but there was the shoulder. Now it's a hamate fracture on his right hand. Like this is somewhat predictable. It is. Like you have injury-prone players on your team. Now you cannot be stunned that they are hurt.
Because the odds-on favorite for the season would be guys would get hurt instead of the other way around. Like the odds-on favorite for the Royals coming through is it's going to look good, then everybody's going to get hurt. This is what you don't want to get into in professional sports with teams when all of a sudden the guys you can count on, can you really count on them? Do you get real excited about them? I'll use the Chiefs receivers as an example. Because the last couple of years, people have been real excited about seeing them on paper and going up to St. Joe and seeing what they do. And then the season starts and everybody's hurt and or suspended or you never know what happens. It's not the same group that you have. In the Royals, everything looks great. And surprise Arizona, this team's going to be great. And there's expectations. But then you have this trend that just keeps happening with this team. But I agree with you, and I think it is different when you look at Ramirez or something like that, because that is a legitimate excuse.
Yeah, it's way different. If this team was in first place in the AL Central,
and then the injuries all hit,
and all of a sudden the injuries hit, and it derailed the season, and they missed the playoffs, completely different conversation. We all have eyes. We have all paid attention. What this team was in end of March when opening day happened, all of April, May. Here we are, right out in smack dab middle of June. It's June 15th today. This team was not decimated because, or performing poorly because of a decimation of injuries or anything. Now it's going to lead to them possibly losing 100 games. That's the only part that I'll concede on the injuries, is now this team has a real chance to lose 100 games, and the injuries will be why the number's 100. But without the injuries, to me, they were still going to be a 90-loss baseball team.
Would you ever bet in a million years the Royals to lose 100 games?
No.
You wouldn't even consider that bet.
That's why it's such a disastrous 2026 season. We've said it over and over about the expectations for fans, for the organization, winning the division, competing for a playoff spot, winning the division, and now it's polar opposite. Yeah, it's a stunning season, and admittedly, this is why at the end of the year, I don't know how you can keep everybody around. I don't think they're cleaning house, but I don't know how you can keep everybody around when you have a season with expectations as high as they were, and it sure looks like you're headed towards a 100-loss year.
And you know what the hardest thing in the stomach is? That, Carter's showing some life, and Jack certainly is. That would be such a nice fixture to have those guys, mixed in with the Sal Perez playing well, a healthy Vinny. I mean, just think about this lineup, with the emergence of Jack and then Carter doing his deal, how good this lineup could be, again, on paper. Like how good it could be, and then injuries derail it. But you see these guys, and you see these signs, and say, man, if that could only mix in with the Royals, the guys staying healthy and having a great year, you sprinkle in a Jack playing, much better than we thought coming into the year, one of the best hitters on the team, and then Carter, and you sprinkle that with the Royals, man, it's so frustrating. And then you think, the fans, they still been getting good fan support out at the stadium. They're, trying to get this new stadium downtown, and you want that buzz, that enthusiasm. And I give Royals fans credit because they win one game, and it's, oh, man, we're coming back. You win another one, oh, man, look how good we are. Then I always tell people, well, go look at the standings in the wild card, because the wild card's a myth. You and I both know that. You have to climb against and hope everybody else fails. You're hoping everybody else fails. But when the Royals win a game or two and you say, man, they looked good, a nice shutout for the Kansas City Royals. Yes, until you open up the standings and realize they have the worst record in the American League. They're tied with the Angels for the worst record, and there's only one team in Major League Baseball with less wins. I did not think we'd sit here because everybody says June 1st, man. That's when you know what you are. Sometimes you are what you are. This is June 15th, and they have the worst record in the American League, something I never thought about the Kansas City Royals coming into the season.
No, and where the injuries really get you, as much as it is, yes, about this year, and I told you that won't be the story of the season, it's going to make getting anything at the deadline extremely difficult because what kind of value are you looking at for some of these guys? Seth Lugo, he'll hopefully be back at some point. That was a very scary situation with the line drive. He's 36 years old.
That was rough.
Salvador Perez, I don't think this organization is trading, but even if you could at this point, I don't really know what you would get. He's 36 years old. Michael Wacha is the biggest trade piece you probably have realistically that you're willing to move. He's 34, but you probably could get something back. But if you trade him, what does that do for 2027's rotation? Matt Strom, he's a bullpen guy, so whatever, but he's 34. Carlos Estevez is 33 years old. Keep going through. These are all guys, because of their age, that all should be moved this year. But tell me, other than Wacha, who's really bringing much to the table? Urseg's 31 years old. They got multiple years of control. I don't know what you would really get for him at this point in time. We know coming into the season, you had somebody like Jonathan India. He got hurt all year, and that was a disastrous decision to bring him back. So I don't even think it's a situation. Normally, at least when you're trending towards a 9,500 loss season, you can say, all right, there's multiple pieces you can trade, and you can get back some future prospects to help you for 27 and 28. Who are they trading that they're actually getting much for besides Michael Wacha?
The only hope is the fact you have 6 teams within 3 games of the mythical wild card. You have 6 teams that are, you start getting down to 5 games out where the Red Sox are. But before that, you have 6 teams within 3 games of the wild card, right? And so they have this false pretense. So supply and demand starts coming in. And can the Royals make a trade? The good news for the Royals are there's going to be so many teams actually feeling they have a chance with 1 or 2, 3 games out for the wild card, thinking making a move and trading for the Kansas City Royals. That's their only hope. Their only hope is to have these teams with the false hope of getting to the postseason and making a deal. But with so many teams basically trade partners now, it used to not be this way in Major League Baseball. You'd have 3 or 4 teams that were going to be heavy bidders, for trading when you get to deadline. But you expand this wild card, and all of a sudden these teams have this pie in the sky. We're going to make a move, and we're going to make a difference by getting a certain player in here and turning things around like Cleveland did last year. And you give hope to a bunch of different teams. That's the Royals' only hope, is to have teams think they have a chance.
We'll talk a little more Royals baseball later on. Don't forget, by the way, this year we have partnered with KCUC, who is donating $50 to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for every home run the boys in blue hit this season. 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. And at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team, you see the best in KC. Scheduled today at kcuc.com. All right, let's pivot to the NBA a little bit because a champion was crowned a couple nights ago. Saturday night down in San Antonio. It was Game 5. The Knicks get their first championship in 53 years. We'll talk about sports droughts coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. I know it feels like an eternity ago, but it was not that long ago where we were talking about 30-year baseball droughts, 50-year NFL drought for the Chiefs as well. But what I can't get over about that series, and there's so many different angles, and Jalen Brunson, it's a great story. We all, by now, most people probably know he took a pay cut, essentially. He could have got more money, but he wanted to win in New York, and his dad's an assistant coach.
He was on that Villanova team, too.
Him and Josh Hart, obviously, as well.
Bridges, all 3 of them.
An unbelievable story, and very, very cool. But what I cannot get over, and yes, the Knicks deserve all the credit, but is there a more less clutch team than the San Antonio Spurs? And they're young. They're one of the youngest teams ever, right, to be in the NBA Finals, if not the youngest. And I think they'll be back, and they will be fine long term. But they led for 72% of the finals games. The minutes played, 72% of the minutes in the 5 games we just watched in the finals, the Spurs led. And when it mattered most late, and this includes Victor Wembanyama, certainly, and their coach, and De'Aaron Fox, and on and on and on, they could not be less clutch. And they once again had a double-digit lead in that game at home, and they crapped the bed late. And the Knicks, of course, to their credit, never quit. And they of course, are well-deserving champions, and they were a team that stepped up in the biggest moments. But the Spurs outplayed them for all but 28% of the games.
It's got to be frustrating when you lose 2 games by 1 point, and you sit back, and that's not including, coming back and getting bombed But 29 points. To me, that was the worst comeback. I loved what Barkley said after the game, too. You look at football, you can get back in it quickly. You know, an interception, touchdown, and you rack up. When you're getting 7 points, you go for 2, 8 points, much different. But think about San Antonio. Think about, shooting the ball with 12 seconds still on the clock. Like, you got to be cognizant of this stuff. And that comes down to coaching, too, and leadership on the team. You're wasting way too much time that you could have going off the clock by taking shots early. There's no reason to hurry it. Just think, if they just make one more shot during that period, the Knicks don't win that game. But that was embarrassing how they went, and that's got to be the biggest concern is the talent was there. The clutchness, the coaching was not there for him, but the talent clearly showed that it can hang there.
See, I'm
with
not
him.
worried long term though with the Spurs. Like this is more about a young team. Like I don't now think
young team or old team doesn't matter. You blow that kind of
well,
lead and you lose a couple, you start to question yourself.
Yeah, well, I think that's ultimately why most people thought the series was over the minute they blew a 29-point lead. And I'm with you, and I didn't think the Knicks were going to lose the series after coming back the way they did. I'm just saying that I don't think that because of what happened in this series. Now, maybe for Mitch Johnson, maybe we're going to find out he's not the right coach long term. And look, by the way, next year, if they're an early out, he'll get fired after next season if the Spurs don't get it done. I have no doubt in my mind he will not make it past next year if they get bounced in the playoffs early.
But that was just so technical.
But as far as for Victor Wembanyama, the pressure is definitely on him, but I don't now think that there's no way that Wembanyama is ever going to make clutch shots late in games. That's crazy to me.
Never guaranteed to get back to that spot, but it's just embarrassing. And I know the players are the ones that allowed that because, of course, they missed the shots, and you're taking shots way too early. I just can't believe there was not somebody there saying, wait, just hold it. Just keep going. Again, these seconds all matter towards the end of the game. And, those missed shots, you make that or your free throws down at the end. But that was unexcusable what happened to him in that game. I mean, that was just pathetic.
I think it is funny how there's so much pressure on Wemby. MJ didn't win his first title until he was 28. And MJ got bounced in the first round a couple of times before he even got to an NBA Finals. So,
but MJ would not have blown a 29-point lead either.
No, I'm not saying that.
That would not have happened.
I don't think anybody's excusing this series. I'm just saying long term, we don't need to act like now that Wemby's just never going to figure it out.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm pretty sure Jordan would have said something in a huddle, and guys wouldn't have.
At 22 years old? I don't know if he would have.
I don't know, man. Jordan's always had that killer instinct, and I guarantee you get in the huddle,
and
you're taking shots with 12 seconds left on the clock or whatever. Jordan's not going to put up with that.
In fairness, Wemby was saying stuff in the huddle. I do think he disappeared a little bit late in the games, along with the free throws and De'Aaron Fox doing way too much, taking away from the rest of the offense is kind of why it was one of the unfortunate highlight points of the Spurs in that series was Mitch Johnson continuing to give the ball to De'Aaron Fox late in games when Dylan Harper was clearly better and all that other stuff. I do think, though, like we talked about, like you guys talked about earlier, as much as it is about the Spurs and not being able to hold the lead, because they'd get out to the lead and then blow it by halftime. And so it wasn't even like they blew it at the end, outside of Game 4. They would blow it by halftime. It'd be a close game at halftime. But I think it goes to show you how good the Knicks were just throughout the entire season of just grinding it out, finding a way. OG Anunoby was great. Obviously, Brunson clinched the MVP with his performance in Game 5.
Yeah,
but
he was unbelievable.
Collectively, like the resilience of this Knicks team, I think, is the main reason and the main story from this whole thing is they didn't get rattled when they would go down double digits, and for that reason, they're the champions.
They were 3-1 when they were down by 15 or more points this entire postseason. The rest of the NBA this year in this postseason, when they were down by 15 or more, were 6-58.
Some teams just have that clutch gene, like the Chiefs. Able to get to the postseason and keep going to the Super Bowl, even though they didn't deserve maybe a chance to be there. They just keep winning. Some teams have that clutch gene, and some teams don't. The Chiefs, you've seen it firsthand. That team has a clutch gene, especially that first Super Bowl. They're down 24 to the Texans. They were down double digits in every game that postseason, including the Super Bowl, but they found a way to win it. Some teams just have that, man. That's the Mahomes difference. That clutch player, over my dead body type games that they go out and have. I'm just disappointed we didn't have a Game 7 in either. NBA or NHL, as good as these series were, no Game 7 for the finals. That sucks.
That doesn't mean that it's a bad series, though.
But it sucks not having a Game 7.
No, 100%. I do think the interesting part, too, of this is that, for me at least, it felt like this was the year for the Knicks to do it. The teams that they had lost to in the playoffs, Pacers, didn't have Halliburton, they were bad. Boston didn't make it through, they got upset early on. This was the year if the Knicks were going to do it, it had to be this season. And they took advantage of it. So shout out to the Knicks, as much as it pains me to say it. I'm happy for Mike Breen.
Why are you signaling timeout to me?
Timeout.
Okay.
Both of you. Timeout.
Okay. Now,
Training camp schedule's been released.
Oh, gosh.
Anyways, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later, Bink.
I'm happy.
It's not worth the timeout?
Let me guess. It's
don't
like
have a
July.
timeout?
Let me guess. It's like July 23rd or something.
I don't get a timeout?
No timeout. No timeout for that.
I am
we'll get to
happy-
the training camp schedule.
The training
That's a
camp
month-
schedule just came out.
Yeah, it'll be okay. We'll get to that.
big news.
We will. I promise you, we'll get to that in the next segment.
I'm happy for Mike Breen and happy for Spike Lee. Those are the only two people I'm happy for, mostly.
Individual Knicks fans, sure. I still don't like seeing East Coast teams win. Call me biased,
That fan
whatever.
base doesn't deserve anything after what they did that whole series.
But there are certain individual Knicks fans that I'm happy for, including a guest we're going to have on in the 1 o'clock hour. My buddy Jake, who does radio for ESPN New York, who's been a lifelong Knicks fan. He's also a long-suffering Jets fan, so he's had plenty of heartbreak and disappointment in his life.
Those are the
he finally
fans
got
I
a
root
moment.
for. Those are the fans I root for. The dedicated, loyal fans
Yeah.
who keep putting up with defeat at the end of the year and finally win it. I love that.
Yeah, so I also want to talk about Jalen Brunson individually, though, because I don't know what his career will look like the rest of the way, but at this point, like this is a resume that anybody would kill for, let alone he's 29 years old.
Yeah.
He's got finals MVP and NBA champion now, 3-time All-Star, All-NBA, second team 3 times, 2-time NCAA champ with Villanova. He was the National Player of the Year at Villanova in 2018, and his numbers retired at Villanova. He's 29, and he's already got all that. I mean, that's about as good as you'll ever see for any athlete, period.
Add a gold medal. Need to go add a gold medal.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that's the one thing.
That's
All
the
right.
one thing. The
All
one
right.
carrot out there.
Fine.
Because there's been,
Yeah.
relatively, add that gold medal.
2028?
Yeah. That he's look, nobody's saying that he's poor by
If
any
he's
means, but
selected.
nobody's saying he's poor by any means, but he's still passed up $100 million. I mean, that is still unbelievable. And you're going to say, well, he's still, what is a career earnings? But back in 2024, he signed a 4-year extension. And he intentionally left $113 million on the table to allow the Knicks to have salary cap space, to build a championship roster. And here you go. It paid off. And again, he's got plenty of money. But still, that doesn't really happen in the NBA all that often.
The trade that Leon Rose made, too, for Mikal Bridges, everybody was bashing it because Mikal Bridges got to the Knicks, and the Knicks sent like 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and everybody was freaking out. Mikal didn't have the greatest series, but he had one good game, and, you won a title, so that trade was worth it.
Yeah, guards now in NBA Finals history, or in playoffs, sorry, not finals, just playoff history in the NBA, to have double-digit 40-point playoff games. So he's at double-digit now 40 playoff games. Michael Jordan, Jerry West, Kobe Bryant, James Harden, Allen Iverson, and now Jalen Brunson. Yeah. Not too bad for one Jalen Brunson.
Hell of a resume.
Man. It is. So congrats to Brunson and the Knicks. But we'll talk more about sports droughts coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Up next, Bink gives us a training camp schedule update, apparently. And we'll talk about USA and what they did on Friday. That's next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
If your engine takes longer to start in the morning than you do, don't worry. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com. You know that weird smell your AC makes when you turn it on? Ooh, you really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
As world soccer hits the big stage, take the field with Fanatics Sportsbook. It's built for fans who want more from their bet. This summer, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every moment count with 10 100% profit boosts over the first 10 tournament days. That's 1 profit boost per game day. So every time the world's best hits the pitch, you've got a chance to double your winnings. And every goal, every save, every result means more. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet matched every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Seid Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Seid Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, or robseid.com.
Buy right, Rob Seid.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live starting at 10 with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag and more. Presented by Sun Cruiser, the official canned cocktail of the U.S. Open. 96.5, The Fan.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything. With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Here's a World Soccer Championship recap.
This recap brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's and by the first ever Infiniti QX65. Busy Sunday at the World Soccer Championship started with Germany laying it on Curaçao 7-1. Kai Havertz with the brace for the Germans. Japan and the Netherlands played to a thrilling 2-2 draw. Japan with an 88th minute equalizer. Sweden in the nightcap handled Tunisia 5-1. And Ivory Coast a 1-0 win over Ecuador. I'm Nick Costos.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
Well, the USA trying to stretch the Paraguay back line. They've certainly done that. It's a big chance. It's an own goal. And they're stretched down the right side of the defence again. Should be two. And it is two. 2-0 against Uruguay. They came from behind twice at extreme altitude against Bolivia to draw. But they're under pressure. Huge pressure. Sensational! This is Reina. Oh, yes! Gio Reyna!
The sounds of the U.S. win on Friday night, of course, 4-1 over Paraguay, and a hell of a start for the U.S. men's national team. We'll talk about that in just a second. We had a ton of fun at our watch party and everything that we did up at the Peanut. Drew was there as well, so we'll get into U.S. soccer in just a little bit. But Bink, you gave me the timeout signal last break or last segment.
Just full on interrupted the segment.
We were having a conversation about the finals. He said, timeout. The training camp schedule is out. And I said, hey, we'll get to it. I do know people do want to hear it, but it was funny. Bink, please fill us in. Where are we at? The training camp schedule, I got the email as well. The 16th training camp at Mo West is now laid out for us.
Can you believe it's already been that long?
No, that is crazy to think about. 16 years up at Missouri Western State University up in St. Joe. And the first season ticket member day is what? July 29th? That's a Wednesday?
July 29th. They put out two schedules, and this is this latest one is when the fans can go. Wednesday, July 29th, exclusive season ticket member.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, July 30th, practice at 9:15 you can go to.
Yeah, they're all 9:15.
Friday, in the first one, you pay a $7 admission fee, is Saturday, August 1st. That's when you play on. I'm starting to look at the weekends. They have a Saturday practice, and they've got
my guess is
they always have one of the days off, a Saturday or Sunday, but they have the first couple Saturdays they are practicing. But July 29th for season ticket holders, you're not a season ticket holder. Your first practice Thursday, July 30th.
Yeah, the key dates for the general public. Thursday, July 30th. Then Tuesday, August 4th is Chiefs Alumni Day. Saturday, August 8th is the Family Fun Day. And then Thursday, August 20th, it's the Military Appreciation Day. And I believe that's the last day of Chiefs training camp. That's how it normally goes. That's August the 20th. Not sure when we'll be up there yet. My guess is looking at the schedule, Bink, there's a chance we're up there Wednesday the 29th or Monday the 27th for our first show up in St. Joe. It is going to be here before we know it.
Storm.
Oh, I mean, look, I don't know how many shows we'll end up doing up there this year, but yeah, there will be a show where Cody and I are hauling it back from St. Joe, right, Drew? And Drew's trying to cover the first 25, 30 minutes of the show because we're still flying down I-29 to get back to the studio. Yeah, that seems like it's inevitable at this point, yeah.
As at least one of the days, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be multiple days.
Hopefully not.
And they'll move practice they'll move it to the indoor facility. Well, you guys will be out there.
No negative energy.
Well, again, when that happens, remember last year we were going to still broadcast from the tent while they were indoors, but the weather was so bad for everybody's safety. They came by and like, hey, you guys got to go, and they picked us up on a golf cart and took us to our car.
The weekend shows only seems like it happens because St. Joe seems to get the brunt of it.
We'll have more announcement on our schedule to go along with the Chiefs training camp schedule when we will be broadcasting up there. But if you're wondering if you want your Chiefs fix, season ticket members, Wednesday, July 29th, your first day, you can catch the Chiefs in action up there at training camp. I think the question will be who's actually out on the practice field and available, given the fact that there's some players that were wearing yellow jerseys during OTAs. We all know Rashee Rice is recovering. How many days left now?
It's got to be
2 days left? What are we at?
Andy Reid last week said he should be, around next week or something like that. That's what he had said. Something
June 16th, tomorrow. I believe he gets out tomorrow.
Xavier Worthy days away.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. 1 day away. 24 hours away from Rashee Rice being released from jail. There you go, Bing.
Who picks him up? Do you think someone drives the
we were talking about that last week. I don't know. Is it his attorney? Is it a family member? Maybe it's his attorney. I'll go as attorney. How about that? I'll say his attorney's picking him up.
Yeah, maybe so. It's
and then
great.
he needs to get his ass to Kansas City immediately.
And start rehab processes.
And stay here and don't go back to Dallas.
And
until the football season's over.
Stay 100% off the beaten path. Get that cash that's right in front of you that you can go earn by having a great season. You're the number one receiver on a damn good team with the Hall of Fame quarterback and coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right in front of Rashee Rice.
So that's the training camp schedule. We'll mention during What's Trending again. It's on the Chiefs website as well. You probably see it on social media, but there you go. All right, you heard the highlights Drew played as we were coming back from break there. The U.S. could not have had a better showing to kick things off of this World Cup. I think it's going to lead to more excitement this week, even in Kansas City, around what we're going to have. And tomorrow we'll talk more about Argentina and Algeria because that's the first World Cup match ever in Kansas City tomorrow night. FanFest is closed today. There's no FanFest today. Tomorrow,
and great weather.
Tomorrow it'll open. I wish there was
Kansas City.
FanFest today. There's no FanFest, unfortunately.
They were saying Kansas City's one of the hottest host cities and all this. Then there's tomorrow night, which is going to be low humidity and perfect.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately, on Saturday night, the severe weather canceled the Chainsmoker concert at the FanFest. They moved that to the 21st. We can get into the Kansas City aspect, and if anybody else went to FanFest, I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts, especially yesterday. I think it was like dog day at FanFest. The weather was perfect. You could bring your dog on Sundays for FanFest. But what did you guys make? We don't need to get too nerdy with it, but overall, I know, Drew, we had a blast up north at the Peanut.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
Hanging out, watching the U.S.
You guys were up north, that's why.
We were like 2 minutes from you, Ben.
Yeah, right in your backyard.
I mean, we could have walked to your place.
Well, you were in the Northland. You missed the excitement Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm glad we weren't up there.
I'm glad they didn't have a host game on Saturday because they had to clear Kaufman out.
Yeah, it would have been a big problem.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, it would have been a big problem. England got their welcome though with the weather. We're going to talk about that.
All teams did. I think everybody got a welcome
in just a bit. But look, as a casual soccer watcher, I would say what was fun about it is the U.S. was aggressive and attacking right away, and so that part of it just made it really entertaining. I think for casual soccer fans and. When you play the goal differential game, you could not have asked for a better result. You get that late goal, the 97th minute. So you're +3 now in goal differential. The U.S. is sitting very, very nicely. And Australia beat who we thought was the better team, right? Turkey, we think. And so depending on how it plays out, the U.S. gets Australia, we know Friday. So there's a chance if the U.S. can beat Australia, then they're sitting real pretty. It's over at that point. That's why if you go on the betting markets, they are massive favorites. One, to just get out of the group stage, but they're a pretty decent favorite to win the group.
Yeah, I think it really helps that Turkey lost, where at this point, if you can't lose to Australia, otherwise it just completely opens the door again. If they can at least get a point and then you can try to salvage something against Turkey, then you're good to go. But, I mean, I was texting with Rob a little bit Saturday morning after the match was over, and I was like, do you think that was the best match you've seen them play? He said that the first half was the best half he'd ever seen the U.S. men's national team play. It looked like things were flowing well. It looked like they were dangerous. I think the Paraguay coach, the manager, said they had an answer for every problem. They had a solution to every problem, which I think goes into getting a guy like Mauricio Pochettino, who's got that, I guess, not necessarily history.
We have Russell Crowe as our coach.
Yeah, that was the funny comp that everybody at
Russell Crowe's the U.S. coach.
Making. But it feels really good to watch a match like that where you go in and you're a little bit nervous because of the history of what's happened with U.S. men's soccer and watching it, but to see that result was very, very encouraging, I would say. And obviously, it was a great time. I had the Vuvuzela.
Drew enjoyed that.
We joked about it. I think it was on Friday about how I used to have one, and then they walked around and said, "Do you want a Vuvuzela?" I was like, "Yes, please."
Oh, Drew had a vuvuzela.
He did.
Yes,
he did.
and it
he
is-
at least he wasn't annoying with it. He only played it after goals, so it
Yes.
wasn't throughout the bar was packed. We had a great time, and don't forget, by the way, if you maybe couldn't make it up to the Northland this past Friday, you can join 96.5 The Fans World Soccer Headquarters at the Pita in Belton this Friday with Bink and Logan starting at 11, right?
Yeah, live show till that, then Bob.
Kickoff
Mac,
at 2.
Dusty show up.
You guys will be giving away coolers, prizes to those in attendance, presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer. So that'll be an opportunity. And you guys will be brought for Friday's a company holiday, so that's why, if you're wondering why we will not be doing our show from there. Bink and Logan will be doing their show from Belton.
Yeah, it'll be still every
You guys will
topic.
have a great time.
Every topic's still on board. There'll be some soccer,
Oh,
of course.
I'm
but,
sure you'll talk some college football somehow. You'll mix it in on Friday.
Yeah, who knows where
I'm sure
Texas Tech ends up at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Although I will say, while you mentioned that, there was an update how Kansas, the state of Kansas, is now at least voicing their opinion on this whole Texas Tech mess. We can get to that right now if you want. The Big 12, this is from Chris Kobach, the Attorney General of the state of Kansas. He said in a tweet, the Big 12 should not be intimidated by the Texas Attorney General's office. The Kansas Attorney General's office stands ready to assist the Big 12. Now, I'm not going to read the full 2-page document. You can find that for yourself if you would like. But basically, they're saying, much like a few other states, that they're backing up the conference who believes they have the right through their bylaws, if they want to deem some sort of punishment or prevent the Texas Tech program from making it to a Big 12 conference title game, for example. It gets very legal language in this, and it references an old court case and everything. I'm not going to read this entire thing to the audience. That'll be boring. It'd take me 5 minutes to read it. But basically, it talks about what they believe the courts should employ and the legal standing they believe the Big 12 has. And now you have the Attorney General of the state of Kansas backing it up and going directly head-to-head with the Attorney General of Texas.
Well, he's joining the Oklahoma AG.
Yep. So that's 2 now. Now, what's funny, Oklahoma, of course, you're talking about Oklahoma State is who they're trying to support here.
The whole state of Oklahoma, their AG is...
No, and Oklahoma is in the SEC. They're against it too. But I'm saying this is more about what the Big 12 can do. The SEC is not going to do anything to punish to Texas Tech. They're saying that the Big 12 is fighting because Texas Tech is saying that the Big 12 doesn't have the legal right to punish them. And the Big 12 and these other state attorney generals are saying, yeah, we do.
They're going after the team now. So it's not exactly Sorsby. It's going after the team and in financial ramifications and not playing in the Big 12 title game.
Yes.
So they're going out. This is nuts.
I mean, it feels like you technically can sue for anything, I suppose, but is there more? Does this make more? Is this resulting by them going after the team less likely that there's a problem from Texas Tech standpoint, where instead of just going particularly after Brennan Sorsby in general?
Well, it's because the Big 12 at this point, if the appeal process drags on, the Big 12 is considering, and they're trying to find out legally if they have the right to, and they believe they do, to basically maybe say Texas Tech can't play in the Big 12 conference title game.
Which I think is the way to get them to, instead of saying Brennan Sorsby can't play, by them saying Texas Tech is ineligible for the postseason. That's the workaround of...
It's the workaround.
Yeah, which...
They'll go after the team, not the player.
And if you're Texas Tech, then I think regardless of the situation anyways, let's say things don't work out and they can't do anything about it and Brennan Sorsby plays. After the season's done, once he gets ruled that he shouldn't have been eligible,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Then all the wins will be vacated and everything like that will be that way anyway. So I don't know what sense it makes for Texas Tech to continue doing this now. They had the easy schedule.
Well, they're so far into it now.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense as to why they went to these links to make sure Brennan Sorsby played. I get that he gives you maybe a better chance to win, but we also don't know that. Like you think it does. I think their schedule is so easy. They might be in the Big 12 title game regardless of who the quarterback. You could play quarterback gold for Texas Tech, and they would be in the Big 12 title game.
Well, Hammond could, and they still could.
That's what I'm saying.
I get what you... But
so
Texas
I'm not Tech never needed to go to those links. Now they're ruining their reputation.
By no means am I defending Texas Tech. From the beginning, I've told you I think this whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's a joke. I will say this, though. You're asking, why are they doing it? As much as I would like to say they're the only one, we all know that if this exact same circumstance was happening at Michigan, you're telling me Michigan's not fighting it? Of course they are. We'd be pretty naive to think. That's the only, I'm not defending Texas Tech, but that's the only thing, though. If this happened at Missouri, if this happened at Kansas, if it happened at Kansas State, we could all get on our high horse and act like your school wouldn't do it. But yeah, they would. So that's why Texas Tech is doing it. But I also fully support every other school that is pushing back because we know it's dangerous, the precedent this is setting for college sports, that one, you can continue to do this, play the court game, like we've already mentioned with Trinidad Chambliss or Brendan Sorsby, et cetera. And it's terrible. And the NCAA is to blame for this even being allowed at this point because they've lost control many, many years ago.
That's why I understand why the Big Ten and SEC, if they were able to branch out, they say, hey, we're going to leave. We're going to get our own commissioner, and we're going to have our own rules. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get out of the NCAA's umbrella. You talk about pressure. Think about the pressure on Brendan Sorsby to be good. Because of everybody going to bat for him from Texas Tech, like if he didn't go out there and perform, imagine, like he goes out there and throws 4 picks and 180 yards. Just imagine the scrutiny and pressure he's now stepping into, and a majority of the people don't want you to play. Then the ones that do want you to play expect it to be great because they're going out on a limb for you. Even the AG, everybody's going out on a limb for you that's wanting you to keep playing. Yeah. That is a ton of pressure he's now got.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the money, the everybody's, jobs are essentially on the line and reputation on the line because of you. And we know that Texas Tech clearly, no matter what happens here, wherever they go to play in any sport, they're now the villain of college sports.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And he's putting himself up there to throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns every game.
But
people are going to be pissed.
But Bink, I thought
all for 1 year, Brendan Sorsby.
But Bink, I thought that the athletic director, as they said, it actually does Brendan Sorsby more harm by him not being able to play football. I thought that was going to cause him more stress.
I think this would actually cause him more stress.
No, I agree. I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, I know you are. But to think about that, I mean, you got that team going to bat for you and spending that money and going to court for you and everything else, and you don't go out there and perform, or you get hurt in game 3. When he finally comes back.
It is pretty remarkable that they're doing this for a one-off. It
is 1 year. Now, look, if they win a national championship, they're going to say it was worth it no matter what.
They're not going to.
And I don't think so either. They will make the CFP, but that's about, as long as the Big 12 doesn't kick him out of a Big 12 title.
He's good, but he's not exactly great. This isn't somebody. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Very good, but they're treating him like.
Also, based on the history of the last 2 years of the college football playoff, one Big 12 team has gotten in. You're telling me that I don't know if they're guaranteed it, where if they make the Big 12 title game, they lose to BYU or to Utah. Based on also that's the other thing about this that you wouldn't be able to prove this. If they make it to the Big 12 title game, let's say BYU beats them, the committee then would have to put Texas Tech in. You're telling me the College Football Playoff Committee with all of this would put them in? It doesn't matter whether they deserved it or not, Bink.
Nope. And it's why also Sorsby, and I don't know if he put up the numbers anyway. The question about, let's say he actually had the numbers to be a Heisman candidate. The 800 plus voters. This is where my stance is different, and I think I'm in the minority opinion. Despite everything I've said, I think it's ridiculous. He's eligible. I think Texas Tech's a joke. All of that. I will say this: if I was actually a Heisman voter, you are supposed to what, Bink? You are supposed to give your vote based on who you thought was the best college football player among all eligible players. Correct? Mm-hmm. So my argument would be that, and I agree with you guys that voters would not vote for him. I, as a voter, if he actually had the best season, I would still vote for him because he would still be an eligible player. By the criteria of me being a voter, I am supposed to, he's an eligible player. I don't think he should be eligible, but he's an eligible player, is he not? So I actually think a voter should not consider that, but I also recognize, of course, plenty of people would not vote for him.
The only reason I wouldn't, I think is because, let's say he plays. If he's ruled ineligible after, his Heisman's vacated anyways.
But you're voting as if he was an eligible player,
sure,
would be the argument, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's not even listed in the odds for Heisman now.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think he can win because there will be way too many voters that wouldn't vote for him. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I think that I can separate the two things, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, if I was actually a voter, I'm supposed to vote on the best college football player that year among eligible players. In this scenario, he would be eligible, so I would not vote for him because of that, I guess is all I'm saying.
I do agree. Someone on the text line mentioned how bad he was against Nebraska. That was the first game of the year, but still, it's not like Brendan Sorsby was the number one quarterback. He's not even the number one quarterback in the portal this offseason. So to do it for 1 year of Brendan Sorsby, I find it very surprising.
There's probably 5 or 6 quarterbacks ahead of him in the draft, to be honest with you.
Well, that's the thing. If he goes out and
Dante Moore and Sayin and Arch Manning and Mestamaker.
If he goes out and has a great year, no matter what the team does, but let's just say Sorsby does, and let's say he's a late first-round draft pick next year. How will people, NFL, college, maybe it won't matter. Like, it'll be interesting how people just treat him even at the next level because of all this. Because to me, he's like a villain for life for a lot of people.
A lot of times NFL teams don't want distractions. I mean, it's like a main thing they don't want.
Yeah, but
Andy Reid hates distractions.
Sure, but you and I both know if he's good, an NFL team will say, "Well, that we didn't make the decision to support him, and make him eligible or not." Like if he's good enough, an NFL team, I don't think will not draft him, right? If he's good enough, that's all. That
100%.
Time and time again, we see that in the NFL.
I'm just curious how he plays, if he does play, because with that pressure on him to be great, I'm just curious.
I do think they'll be pressured.
They're treating treating him like Archie Manning.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk more about the Chiefs and Chiefs with pressure in 2026, plus some of the longest sports droughts remaining in sports. But you hopefully caught Fan Club Friday, Bink. We had Jacob Lanier, Fox 4 meteorologist in studio, and we asked him about
That was a nice little change of pace.
Yeah, it was good to have him in studio. We talked to him about the weather, of course, as well as sports, and fans frustrated by the split screen and the weather. And he explained the rules, right? They're required during tornado warnings to hop on the air and all this. And I do think they get a bunch of crap from sports fans because of it, and I understand. But we thought that they would make maybe a smaller split screen be the meteorologist and then the games bigger. This happened on Saturday night, and I actually feel bad for Pete Grigsby, the meteorologist at Channel 9.
Yes, right.
Pete Grigsby, I'm sure people were tweeting him or whatever, and it's not his fault. But they were on for well over an hour because there was that tornado warning. Yeah. And the only thing I can't figure out, I will say, can we at least figure out the split screen a little bit better here? That wasn't even taking up the whole screen. It was weird. The finals box on the right was what? What would you guys say? 40% of the screen, 30% of the screen? But like the actual main screen still didn't even take up the whole screen.
Yeah,
it was like
the screen was smaller.
The formatting was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
Can we figure something
the problem.
out?
It's the second meteorologist that's been in this time slot. We brought one in a day shift.
Okay.
Because of the snowstorms. Because I was like, who's more accurate, sports broadcasters or weather broadcasters? Because all of a sudden we had this blizzard, and they didn't call for a blizzard. And so I brought in a meteorologist. I was like, hey, this blizzard hit Kansas City. You guys are usually all over this stuff. Why didn't you do it? But I'm with you on the split screen. And here's the thing. We're in 2026. And
yes, we are.
They're gradually figuring out the split screen, which they've had for decades doing it. Like the Stanley Cup, they legitimately ruined Game 2 of the Stanley Cup because it was a great third period, probably the best period in the NHL going this far when Vegas had a 2-0 lead and Carolina storms back in that game. And they missed it because they were doing a whole screen about weather in northern Missouri and Iowa. They weren't even doing split screen at that point. They finally figured it out during intermission before overtime about the split screen. And the other problem is a lot of these TV stations own secondary TV stations like KSMO 10, KCW 7. They could run a scroll and say, hey, they find the full game over on, if you don't want to see the weather coverage, because you're still covering the weather. They're still keep their license. They're still not going to get fined because they're covering the weather on the main station. Play the whole game in its entirety on the secondary station. That's what a lot of people want.
There must be some. I agree, there must be some reason why they can't move the national broadcast over to, 38 the spot or whatever.
Former Royals PR guy Mike Swanson was tweeting about it.
Yeah,
they
got to figure something out because I get it's been an active weather season already, and it is kind of crazy. I think the other part in
well, this makes sense because it was Kansas City.
Yeah, and one of the meteorologists hinted at it is the technology, fortunately, and this is a good thing, has gotten so good with like Doppler radar to detecting potential tornado warning or potential tornadoes early, which is great, right? More warning, it's awesome. That's what we should all want. But I think what has happened, I feel like the tornado warnings now last way longer because they're hopping on the air quicker because we're detecting it earlier than ever. So therefore the warnings are lasting longer than ever, and therefore they're on TV more than ever, right? So like that's the part that I think has led to the broadcast being an hour and a half on the air for tornado warnings so they clear out of the area.
My biggest issue is they kept justifying it. And you heard a little bit of that too. They justified we have to cover tornado warnings
because they're getting a lot of heat
in the coverage area. They kept bringing it up. We have to do this, but they never justified not doing the split screen originally. Even the golf was ruined for a bit before they got the split screen working. The split screen should have been implemented immediately with weather up in northern Missouri and Iowa.
You could also just load up your ESPN app and you could watch the finals full screen.
You could do that too, but if you do lose power, then you can't hop on an app.
Yes. Well, I mean,
one would argue one would say if you lost power, then probably the weather is important enough where you maybe should be paying attention, Bink.
Well, Exactly, maybe so. But I'm just saying that it's not just me. I mean, I was throwing a fit about this during the Stanley Cup way back when in Game 2 to you, and then all of a sudden,
what do you think would happen?
Everybody jumped into this.
Like we obviously.
My thing was World Cup. What are you gonna do with the World Cup?
Well, we did ask Jacob Lanier about that, and it sounds like maybe if it was the U.S. playing in the World Cup, they would go smaller screen on the weather. But I don't know. I was gonna say, the NBA, we were all watching, but we don't have an NBA team. What would happen? Like honestly, I would love to know let's say it was Super Bowl Sunday. Bad example. I get it's February, but just bear with me, okay? Let's say it was
Could be a blizzard.
Let's say it was possible to have a tornado warning in February, okay? And it was the Chiefs of the Super Bowl. You're telling me they're putting the Chiefs Super Bowl game in a tiny box with the audio of the meteorologist? No chance in hell.
That would
no
be,
chance.
They'll
Can't happen.
They'll pay the fine.
Nuts.
No chance. So like it clearly is possible.
And if
to
they
do
did
something.
That would be
There's
crazy.
just no. You guys know there's okay. You know the seasons don't align for the Chiefs or the Royals to be in a big enough game with the tornado warnings. But let's just say it could happen. Let's say it was World Series Game 6 in October. Somehow we had a tornado warning and it's on Fox. You're telling me that they're putting the Royals World Series game in the tiny box with the audio of the meteorologist on?
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah,
No way.
I wouldn't.
It was just
think
interesting after you had that conversation for Saturday to be a real test.
I know.
Test of which direction they're going to go.
I don't blame any of the on-air people for the record at these days.
it's management
somehow
besides
behind the scenes. Can we figure out a better way to do the split screen? That's all I'm saying. Can we Can we make sure we take up the full screen instead of like this? If you're going to do split screen, can it be 50-50? That's what. Why are we doing? Why can't it be 50-50? That's all.
But to have a full screen weather report during Game 2 of the Stanley Cup and not even doing a split screen about weather in northern Missouri and Iowa, that's what sent people over the edge.
All right, coming up next, let's get into the Chiefs. Some of the Chiefs with the most pressure this year, and sports droughts. One ended after 53 years. Who's next?
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This summer, grab a Truly Hard Seltzer. Light, bubbly, fruity, and make your dreams come truly. Join us for our game day watch parties on June 12th, 19th, and 25th at Peanuts locations. Truly Hard Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of U.S. Soccer. Visit odyssey.com/965thefan for more info on watch parties. And visit trulyhardseltzer.com/locations to find Truly near you. Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, LLC, Boston, Massachusetts. Hard Seltzer, 5% alcohol by volume. Please drink responsibly. 21 plus only.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they want to make sure that your business is inviting, that it's safe, and that, of course, your project is cost-effective, because they want to make sure that you're ready and that your business is ready before the world comes here. That's all possible over at Gann, who can handle any type of project your parking lot would need. That's because they're one contractor, all things parking lot. Check out their projects at GannAsphalt.com or give them a call at 816-688-3512.
A large bank that stays tied to the community it serves? That's bold. For over 90 years, Security Bank has served the greater Kansas City area. That's longer than most of the barbecue joints around. What's our secret sauce? It's our commitment to local lending and local decisions, championing what makes Kansas City great, because Kansas City is full of champions. Speaking of which, we've been recognized as the strongest large bank in KC. Security Bank of Kansas City, member FDIC.
Meet Keith. He runs a 30-acre ranch.
8 years ago, his knees started giving out.
Climbing a ladder was almost impossible. If I could get down, I have to have something next to me to get up.
Keith's wife had a knee replacement. The recovery was hard and the results, not great. Keith wanted another way.
I won't go under the knife because I believe the body can do whatever it needs to do to heal itself.
Surgery wasn't the answer. QC Kinetics was. They're regenerative treatments. No surgery, no long recovery.
After the first one, the inflammation dropped 90%. Today, my knees are just amazing. I could not do what I've done if I had not gotten treatments to QC Kinetics. I just pray that my physical model continues to go and help other people.
Maybe that's you. Tired of dealing with the joint pain? Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
You can never have too many tools. Shop DeWalt deals at Lowe's. Get a free Select DeWalt 20-volt max power tool when you buy a Select 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery kit. Plus, get a free additional DeWalt 20-volt max 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a DeWalt 10-inch 20-volt max dual-bevel compounded miter saw. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature-Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Join us for Parlays and Pints with Mac Morey and Drew Nixon at Beckett's in the Crossroads on Saturday, June 20th from 3 to 5 as we broadcast live along with our friends at Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. CircusSports.com. 96.5 The Fan.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. Because this ad is 30 seconds, I can't get into everything I'm FDA approved to do, so I'm just going to play my jingle again. But first, ask your doctor about which FDA approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA approved Ozempic. Now here's that jingle again.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market, starting at 10 for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon with you, Jay Binkley. In with me for this entire week. First World Cup match of the day just started minutes ago. Spain, Cape Verde, Group H. Spain, one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the World Cup.
Lamine Yamal might play. He's
on the bench. He's on the bench
he was
to start, but maybe he gets subbed in later on. One of the best young players in the entire world. Must watch when he's on the field. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Of course, there's other matches throughout the day. We got to wait till tomorrow night for the first match here in Kansas City, Argentina and Algeria. FanFest is closed today. Tomorrow, FanFest open back up there at the Liberty Memorial. It's been a ton of fun. I'm curious if anybody else has been out there. Get your guys' thoughts on the text line, too. I went out there last Thursday, but just curious if anybody, what your guys' experience was, especially yesterday where it was just gorgeous. But I know the Saturday night people were bummed out with the concert with the severe weather got canceled. They closed it early Saturday for everybody's safety.
They closed it today.
I don't know if it was ever scheduled to be open today. I'm guessing it was already an off day or whatever because it's a Monday. But tomorrow it'll be opened up. Should be pretty nice as well. You guys can hit us up on the J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965. 1 hour, about 90 minutes actually from now, Jillian Carroll will join us. She's been one of the FanFest hosts and MCs. We'll talk to her about FanFest, Kansas City, soccer. You guys know she does play-by-play commentary for the KC Current. So we'll talk a little bit about the U.S. men's national team as well. But let's talk Chiefs right now, Bink. You're all excited about the training camp schedule.
Yep.
That came out about an hour ago. But also, the folks over at Arrowhead Pride were going through and talking about players under the most pressure heading into 2026. And I think we all agree on some of the names. The question is, how would you rank them out? Because Josh Simmons is definitely on the list, but is he at the top of the list?
I would put him at the top of the list. And you think about the blindside protector for a quarterback that's now 30, that's coming off an ACL, that is the meal ticket for the Kansas City Chiefs to play. And we've seen how things can get rough when he's not playing. To be that guy and this new effort into running the football, this is going to be imperative, man, because run blocking has not been his strength in the NFL. He was one of the least best tackles against the run last year, 83rd out of 89 tackles where he ranked in run blocking. Pass blocking, much different. He was much better. But run blocking is going to be an emphasis for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's lost the weight, get out more in space and do some things. So I'm excited about for the Chiefs to have a left tackle and not have to worry about that position because the last two drafts, that's exactly where they've gone. They're still trying to find what Orlando Brown gave them. You go out there and you get they didn't like any of the tackles why they made that trade for Orlando Brown in the first place. But to go out there and get Kingsley, he was going to be your left tackle, didn't work out. He's now your guard. So then you have to go back into the first round the next year and get a Josh Simmons. It's something you don't want to do when there's other pressing issues and matters for the Chiefs to sign player like a wide receiver in the first round, as far as getting them early before the big payday arrives for the receivers. But for him to work out, imperative, man, especially being the blind side for Patrick Mahomes. I think he's number one.
Yeah, so he's number 2 on my list. I agree with everything you kind of brought up, like reasons why he would be on the list. I just don't have him number 1. Number 1 for me is Rashee Rice. Pressure. I mean, ultimately, that to me is the guy that has the most pressure heading in.
One more caveat, though. Like, if he's hurt, then all of a sudden you're moving your right tackle over to the left, and then it causes a lot of problems with your offensive line. That's why it's so important.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, with Rashee Rice, the reason why
I'm with you on that one.
The same argument about injury. The reason why he's under the most pressure, you lose him, then you're absolutely screwed at wide receiver for the 2026 season. So Rice, pressure for obvious reasons, for the team's sake this year. For him individually, he's under a lot of pressure, self-created issues, but pressure. It's a contract year for him. If he goes out and can't stay healthy this year, then not even some other team in the league is willing to give him a type of deal that he's searching for. So I think there's a ton of pressure on Rice. Fans are already going to be on this team's rear end, if you will. Can you imagine? There's probably not a player more on this entire team that fans are going to be ready to jump if he stinks, doesn't perform, drops passes, or anything.
You already saw it last year.
Yeah. So
the first 4 games he came back, people loved him, but then it started to slip a little bit.
I think Rashee Rice has the most pressure entering this season, and a lot of it is self-inflicted, but there's also the reality of what the Chiefs do need out of him on the football field. The reason why he's still on this roster is because they desperately do need him in 2026. So number 1 would be Rice for me. Number 2 would be Josh Simmons. I agree with everything you said as far as the reasoning for it. It's pretty obvious. The guy missed time last year. He had the absence in the middle of the season. He's your franchise left tackle. I think he added more pressure to himself by losing the weight that he did. Like, I'm not worried yet, as we discussed last week, but he needs to get to 300. He played at 310 last year. He's going to be more of the athletic tackle. They knew that when they drafted him. Nobody's saying he needs to be a 325-pound tackle. But he put more pressure on himself by showing up as jacked as he did, but also knowing that between now and week 1 of the season, he's got to put on 10, 15 pounds.
Which will be easy. It's easy for those guys to gain it. But, not that big overpairing guy, kind of like what Andy Reid was talking about, that typical fixture at left tackle. Because Andy Reid, and again, this is geeky, and you'll probably give me crap for it, but again, the shortest arm tackle he's ever drafted. Yeah,
that's right.
No, I'm just saying, there are things out there, and that's something they do look for. I'm just saying that. But if he plays, but his pass blocking was really good last year, so there's some things to work on with him. The run blocking, like I said, that's the part that's got to come around with this new emphasis with Ken Walker coming in and running the football.
But you loved him, though, right? Josh Simmons.
From Ohio State.
I hate this pick, actually. Don't like it.
I wasn't a huge fan of it. People still like to give me crap about it. I was like, which one of his 8 games?
It's a great drop, Bink.
Which one of his 8 games really stands out to you?
It's a great drop.
It's missed 19 games in the last 2 years.
Third
stands out.
Third on my.
That's fair, Bink.
Third on my.
It is fair because it's fact.
Third on my list. I don't know if you agree. You mentioned his name a second ago. I do think it's Xavier Worthy. I'm valuing the wide receivers. I'm valuing the wide receivers a little bit more on this list than you are. Number 3 would be Worthy. It's year 3. It's a make or break season. I am still very optimistic. I think I'm one of the few people on Xavier Worthy in that there's still something there. We're going to talk more about this in the Chiefs Red Half Hour, looking at when he's been healthy in this production. But yeah, this is a season that so much pressure is on him and his long-term status with this organization and the NFL for that matter. Is there more to Xavier Worthy's game? I think the answer is yes, but if not, then he's going to just be a dude in the league and that's it. But can he stay healthy? Can he elevate his game and become an 800-yard receiver for this team? Last year was a step back, but he was hurt all year. Literally 3 plays into the season, he was hurt all year. So, but there is an immense amount of pressure on him. I think he's got the third most pressure out of anybody on the team. You notice none of us are putting Patrick Mahomes as kind of a given. Duh, you're the franchise quarterback. There's always pressure that Mahomes lives with, but it's not what I'm going with my list.
In Rice or Worthy, I agree with you because hopefully he can get back to being the player they drafted. He's the 9 route, the vertical route, the guy getting down the field and doing things. I mean, that's why they brought him in. And you're not able to do that as much when you have to do other roles for the wide receiver group that he's been thrown into. You look at his rookie year and you think about pressure, not a lot of pressure because Hollywood Brown's here and you got Rasheed Rice. So there wasn't a lot of pressure on your first-round pick at that point. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, 6 games in, game 4, Rice gets hurt. Hollywood Brown was hurt in the first preseason game. And all of a sudden, he had to step up and be that guy. So low pressure when you got in, then a lot of pressure that first year when you came back, and it worked out. They actually went to the Super Bowl that year, utilizing that pressure. And last year with the injuries, I think they did linger. I think those injuries did linger. He's a tough dude. Again, the guy's never missed peewee football, high school football, never missed games at Texas. He's not injury-prone type of guy. He's a tough dude. But I'm more excited about him getting back to the player they drafted.
Yeah.
Because that's the Xavier Worthy you want to see, and he's not able to be that. So that Tyquan helped open things up. But, again, you're thinking about next year because you always look a year ahead. He's under contract. Jalen Royals is under contract. You know nothing about him. Cyrus Allen's under contract, and Tyquan Thornton's under contract. Those are your receivers under contract. That is not a good list. That's why he's got to step up.
I've noticed we both, and I can ask and get Drew's perspective in the text line, 291-358-586-7965. We're all listing offensive players so far. None of us have put a defensive player or position group yet because my next player on the list, 4th most pressure, would be another offensive player, and it's Kenneth Walker. And it's Kenneth Walker because of the money he's getting paid to be a running back, because we're all banking on this running game being far more explosive, and it has to be. And he's being compensated that way. So I put him number 4 on this bank of most pressure. You're a free agent. You're coming off the Super Bowl MVP. We're all expecting, understandably so, for him to come in and immediately just be a stud for this team. And I think he will be, but that there is pressure with that. And so he'd be number 4.
New toys always get the most pressure. People are going to be driving to St. Joe because they want to see Ken Walker because they saw him in the Super Bowl and they saw what he can do. They want to see what he can do with this offense. And I do think there's pressure there. But I think the edge rushers collectively, when you put R. Mason and Ashton Gelati, FAU, see what you still have there. But I think George Karlaftis, what's he going to be this year? Could he keep elevating the way he plays? But I think collectively the group of edge rushers would be sitting in my 4.
So that is number 5 for me. I get there when we get to the 5th spot, first defensive group. And yeah, it's the defensive line and what they can do. So we're not too far off.
Thrown in there and all that. So.
Yeah, I think the young defensive line would be the 5th answer on most pressure moving forward. Someone else on the text line said they think Butker should be higher on this list. I hear you. I think I can't have him in my top 5 of here's the reality. I mean, as a kicker, we all know. I mean, pressure, yes, every time they go out there for a kick, but I'm not putting him as a top 5. If Harrison Butker halfway through the season is struggling still, then they're going to have to look to pivot after this season, and this will be it for him in Kansas City.
You're going to have to.
So I guess that's pressure. I'm not going to have a kicker. If I sat here and said the player with the second most amount of pressure all year is Harrison Butker, I don't agree with that.
Me either. But the other thing, too, Arrowhead tried to put in Noel Williams, and I think that's legitimate. I like Noel Williams. That was my favorite draft pick when they made it was Noel Williams.
You didn't hate that one.
But the thing is, with McDuffie gone and with Jalen Watson gone, I mean, there are some guys that were trusted in the secondary, And Noah Williams will have to, he'll be counted on to be that guy. I think people are going to be watching Noah Williams completely different than the way you looked at him last year, like this luxury piece that you have. He's coming along. But now when you jettison McDuffie and Jalen Watson, they're saying you're the dude.
I mean,
and that's some pressure there when all of a sudden the people in front of you are gone. It's like the quarterback that has to replace Patrick Mahomes eventually in 10 years or whatever.
All due respect, Bing, to Noah Williams. Montour Delane is the guy. I know that Noah Williams was great. Montour Delane is the guy. He was picked 6th overall. I think
he'd be on the list before I would get to Noah Williams.
Yeah, I would put Montour Delane before Noah Williams.
In terms of pressure, you're the 6th overall pick. You got more pressure than the guy in his second year.
Of course, because he's a first-round pick. But keep in mind with Noah Williams, though, any kind of redrafts you see, he's a first-rounder now. People are looking back and saying,
Montour is cornerback. If they're both healthy, Montour Delane is corner 1.
But do you really put more pressure on a rookie than a guy in his second season?
When you're 6th overall pick,
when
you do. But sometimes it takes guys, especially in the secondary, until that second year to really shine.
That's why there's pressure. That's why there's pressure, because nobody's going to give you time outside the organization.
I'm just saying it's go time for Noah.
It's really weird, though, because Noah Williams has been put as a person who is a breakout candidate, but then also he has the most pressure. That doesn't make, to me, that's very, I don't think you can have both of those at the same time. Noah Williams didn't play enough last year.
I'm not going to argue with you on the
Mansour
Delane, but I do think Noah Williams brings
I don't think Noah Williams played enough last year to have pressure on him.
We'll talk more about this later on in the show. Also, Chiefs Red Half Hour is 15 minutes away. We'll discuss the quarterbacks and coaches in the AFC West and more on Xavier Worthy, looking back at when he has been healthy, what the production looked like, plus the trash of the day is just a couple minutes away. We mentioned in the first segment of the show, guys, of course, the Knicks breaking their long drought. 53-year drought is over. They're NBA champs. Different way to talk about, though, here. We know in Kansas City, it was not long ago, we saw the Chiefs break a 50-plus year drought. The Royals broke a 30-year drought when they won the World Series in 2015. And the reaction from Knicks fans, it does bring back some memories even here, because there's not a better feeling as a sports fan when it's weird, like now we're spoiled. But when you have to wait as long as Knicks fans did, or as long as we did as Chiefs fans, that first one, there's nothing like that. The emotion. People, you saw the videos, Knicks fans were crying. I remember people were crying when the Chiefs won in 2019 and crying when the Royals won in 2015. As someone that grew up here, even when they made it to the World Series in 2014, never thought they could make it to that. As a kid, the Royals, for much of my childhood, they were all terrible teams.
And the one thing, too, is that we understand in Kansas City, when you get the 5-decade mark, because Chiefs were right at 50 years. It was exactly 50 years that they'd won their previous championship. I know the Knicks sitting there with 53 years, but it was right at the 50 mark for the Kansas City Chiefs. So you kind of feel their pain and understand what they went through when you think of the Chiefs going 5 decades without winning a Super Bowl. And here are the Knicks basically a little over 5 decades.
Who's next? Because we know there's some franchises in the NFL just flat out have never won. But if you're looking at in-between titles, in baseball, you got the Guardians, who have the longest active World Series drought, 78 years. Now, they won one in 1948, but that's the stretch that they're going on right now. You got a team like the Jets. They have not won since 1968. The Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won for 58 years since 1967. At least they have won in those sports. In the NFL, though, we know there's what? The Cardinals, the Falcons, the Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Texans, Jags, Chargers, Vikings, Titans. None of them have won. Some of them have never even had an appearance. Talking about Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, and Jacksonville. Cincinnati has had 3 appearances. Drew's well aware of that history. But when you look at who do you think's next? Like, if you would ask a Knicks fan 3 years ago, and you would have said, hey, in 3 years, don't worry, you guys will be in position to win a championship, they would have laughed at you and said, okay, sure. Who do you think is next, whether it's the NFL or any sport? Who do you think is positioned to have the next drought broken?
I would.
If we're talking teams who have won before, the Guardians.
See, I don't know. I know they're in the first place in the Central and everything, but I don't know.
I would have said Detroit the way they were trending.
I just think, Drew, the problem is when you have a team like the Dodgers right now, too, it's just really difficult for me to say the Guardians. But you're right. Like, they're at least probably going to be in the playoffs and all that.
Though, because the Jets we know are not. The Maple Leafs know. The Kings know.
I'm just saying in general. Like,
in general, I think it's, the Bills, Bengals.
I would have said the Lions a year ago.
Lions,
a year, but now I don't know. We just don't know. Jared Goff's a year older. I'm not sure that Lions division is brutal. I think, let's put it this way. My answer is certainly not going to be the Arizona Cardinals or the Atlanta Falcons. Cincinnati would not be first or second. They'd be probably fourth or fifth on my list of likely. At least they have the quarterback figured out, but they got a bad head coach, in my opinion.
Probably still Buffalo.
Well, Houston's
Buffalo,
got the team.
The problem is they got a
football.
first year. Buffalo's got a first year head coach, so I don't. Out of those, who's most likely to win it this year? Well, then, then we narrow it down to Buffalo or Cincinnati out of the NFL teams as far as the drought part of it, just because of the quarterbacks that they have.
I don't know. The Texans would be interesting because they have
CJ Stroud looks so bad.
CJ Stroud's the biggest question mark because DeMeco Ryans, he's won a playoff game now. Every year he's been head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So are they willing to take that step? Will they take that step and go beyond further because their offensive line was so bad last year and they knew that going into it, but. That defense, that talent around they've assimilated a lot of talent around the Houston Texans. I mean,
when you don't have the quarterback figured out, and I don't think we can say that we thought they had it figured out 2 years ago. We thought they had it figured out. I don't think you can say we know the Texans have it figured out with Stroud. This is a massive year for him to bounce back and show that he's still the guy that we all thought was a top 10 quarterback. He's not a top 10 quarterback right now in football.
Yeah, but as far as that team showing, they have won 3 straight years of winning playoff games. So eventually, maybe it sinks in. But again, C.J. Stroud, it comes down to him because he's got to find that magic from year one because they have put a team around him.
All right, let's get to it, Drew.
Trash of the day.
I think we go to Brazil for this one. Did you see Brazil soccer over the weekend? Watch any of that?
Yeah, I actually watched some of that.
You did?
A little bit of surprise.
Well, we go to Brazil. You sounded real confident.
No, they didn't win, so that's why.
Yeah.
That was the shocker.
It was. Well, this is a shocking incident that took place back on June 11th. Military police carried out an intervention after receiving information about an armed couple on a motorcycle. Officers there in Brazil located the pair and carried out a stop in the street. There's video footage showing the armed passenger struggling to remove the firearm she had. She had a pistol in her private area. Yeah.
Was it loaded?
It was. I don't. Yeah, 2 live rounds inside of it.
Wow,
yeah.
that's even.
A Taurus PT-92 caliber 9mm pistol was up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The male companion told officers they were searching for a man accused of robbing his mother earlier, and that's why the two. Yeah, but she pulled the gun from her.
It's one area you wouldn't look. You'd think that would happen.
I mean, officers do the cavity search, right?
I mean, would metal detectors still find that if it was?
Yes, I'm sure it would. The article points out, Bink, this is not the first time a woman has tried to use her intimate area to hide drugs or a weapon. Last year,
who took the weapon out, though? Was it the police that had that?
Did this happen before?
It says last year, a 42-year-old woman was accused of hiding cocaine inside a sex toy that was inside her after she arrived at an airport in.
That's different, though, man. The loaded handgun, that's much different.
Live rounds.
That's
dangerous.
I just wonder who got it out.
I'm guessing she, I think.
But then she's going to be holding the gun.
That's true. I guess. No, you're right. No, you're right, Bink. Actually, somebody else had to pull it out.
Yeah, because if she's sitting there pulling it out, she's got a live gun in her hand.
Bink. You know what? You're 100% right.
She's saying who got the gun? Was she handcuffed back and the hands were back?
They probably said, you got a weapon on you. And she probably said, well, I do. And they go, okay, where is that at? And they go, well, she's like, yeah.
And what did you
put on some latex gloves, please?
Do you say do you have a weapon on you? Is it on you or is it?
Where was the gun?
Where was that at
I think we all know where it's at by now.
It's private parts. I would.
Yeah, you can. I'll let you use your brain a little bit.
What's
and
he talking about, Drew? Where was the gun exactly?
Would you say the weapon's on you or?
That was in her.
Yeah.
Like where?
In her intimate area, Bink.
Was it taped on the outside or?
I don't know, Bink. There's video of it online if you really need to know, Bink. There's video. There is video from far away of the. Actually, Bink, I have clarification. I have clarification for you.
Okay,
in the video, she extracts the loaded weapon in front of officers and handed it over to one of them. So she did pull the weapon out.
So she brandished a weapon.
She brandished the weapon. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
That happened in Brazil.
They probably didn't
a couple
believe
days ago.
Like, nah, come on now. They didn't believe it. Like, no one did that. And then all of a sudden, you're like, But she had a live gun in her hands.
Someone says a PT-92 is a pretty big pistol, actually. That is the trash of the day.
This story?
It's a real story out of Brazil. I don't make these up. I couldn't make this up. All right. There's so many jokes, so many texts I can't read on the air. I see them. They're funny. I can't read them on the air, but thank you for providing me, at least, with a chuckle inside. All right, up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour and the quarterbacks and coaches in this AFC West and where they stack up. Plus, we're going to go back and look at Xavier Worthy's rookie season. I'll tell you why next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
My home's my happy place, but I started to notice those fading colors and peeling paint. I needed a team that cared about the details as much as I do. The CertaPro painters exceeded my expectations. Their free estimate was incredibly detailed and easy to understand. They brought fresh color and quality craftsmanship to our home. Whether it's interior or exterior, protect your home with the best. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
As world soccer hits the big stage, take the field with Fanatics Sportsbook. It's built for fans who want more from their bet. This summer, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every moment count with 10 100% profit boosts over the first 10 tournament days. That's one profit boost per game day. So every time the world's best hits the pitch, you've got a chance to double your winnings. And every goal, every save, every result means more. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet matched every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Father's Day's right around the corner, and if you're looking for a great way to treat Dad, just make one stop at Hy-Vee. They have absolutely everything you need to make it his best day ever. We're talking about the best beef in the Midwest, from massive T-bones and grass-fed fillets to incredible Wagyu strip loins. Plus, you can grab a bottle of top-shelf whiskey from the spirits department or save 40 cents a gallon when you buy $50 and select retail gift cards. Skip the stress and get everything you need to celebrate Dad, all in one stop, only at Hy-Vee.
This Father's Day, crown your dad King of the Grill with a best in the Midwest thick-cut steak from Hy-Vee. Your dad deserves only the highest quality, hand-selected Midwestern beef. This Thursday through Sunday, stock up for summer during Hy-Vee's biggest steak sale ever. Score huge savings on all of Dad's grilling favorites, including T-bones, fillets, ribeye, and strip steaks. Don't miss the biggest steak sale ever this Thursday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. You could be looking at one of the matchups this weekend. That's right, Ecuador versus Curacao. Maybe they can upset. Maybe even not even upset in the normal way. You could trade just for a tie. Trading at 13% right now, which means a $100 investment could see a return of $725. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time only, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contracting and trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, go to Kalshi.com/regular.
Hey DQ fans, nothing could make Father's Day more memorable than a DQ cake. Treat Dad, aka Pops, Poppy, or Papa, to one of our delicious fudge and crunch cakes. Or get a cake in one of our other Blizzard treat flavors like Oreo cookie. Customize your DQ cake with a message that celebrates the big guy and all the wonderful things he does. Trust us, it's a lot more fun than a pair of socks or another wacky tie. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Join us at 96.5 The Fans World Soccer Headquarters at the Peanut in Belton on June 19th with Bink and Logan starting at 11 and kickoff at 2. Presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer, and by Security Bank of Kansas City. Boldly local since 1933.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold again. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon with you. Jay Binkley in for Cody this week. A little bit of next week as well. Logan Weber will also be filling in. Cody will be back towards the end of the month. We'll give him all kinds of crap when he comes back. We'll find out what other stories and dirt we can dig up. We've got a snitch line on Thursday, so maybe you come across Cody during this week. I don't know if he's in Dallas yet, or that's next week. Honestly, not sure, but we will find that out.
Snitch line from Minsky's.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. You're right. That's a good reminder. This Thursday, if you want to come out and see Bink, I know people want to see you, Bink. We're going to be in River Market, Minsky's River Market this Thursday for the U.S. Open. Yes, it's in golf.
There will be pizza consumed. Much pizza consumed.
I know there will be. Bink, I haven't had pizza in a very long time. It has not been
part
of my.
Into it.
I'll save it for Thursday because I have not had pizza in months. Actually,
it's good stuff.
But I'm looking forward to it on Thursday. Hope to see you guys at the River Market. Kind of fun. We've never done a show from the River Market before. At least this show has not. So I'm excited about that. Just different area, different part of town. Yes, it's for the U.S. Open, but we'll also be keeping an eye on soccer while we're there as well. I'm thinking of soccer 1 hour from now. Jillian Carroll's going to join us. We'll talk more about KC. It's a role in the World Cup, Fan Fest. She's one of the hosts of Fan Fest. Also, we all know the first Kansas City match is tomorrow out at Arrowhead with Argentina and Algeria. So that's really, really cool. And I think tomorrow everybody's kind of curious to see how that's going to play out. Drew's excited. He finally got – we were nervous over the weekend because there was a story about one of the national ticket brokers that somebody had bought tickets through, and that basically the day of the match or whatever, they never got their ticket, and that company did not hold up their end of the bargain, and all they offered them was a refund, but tickets had doubled. So we were texting, and I was telling Drew, because he bought his from this same national ticket broker, and I was like, and he hadn't got his tickets yet. I'm like, you better make sure. Good news, during the break, Drew got an email. He's got his actual tickets
I
now.
got them today.
So he's set. He's
Who
going.
did you buy, 2?
1.
He's going to, we're not sitting together, but we're going to the same match. I'm going to Tunisia, Netherlands. He's also going to Tunisia, Netherlands. That's not till the 25th, though.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I can't wait. Can't wait for that. All right, let's get to some Chiefs here. You dug this up, actually. I'll mention this and let you lead it because you found Nick Shook, not to be confused with old producer Nick Schwartz. Nick Shook, who wrote an article about the NFL divisions by quarterback talent for this upcoming season. And no surprise, the worst division they listed was what? The NFC South. I think we agree because you're going to either have Michael Penix or Tua for the Falcons. You got Baker is the best quarterback in that division with the Bucs, and then it's Tyler Shuck and Bryce Young. It's not a great quarterback division. Let's start with the AFC West. Where did they stack up on this thing?
They gave the AFC West number 2 with Patrick Mahomes, obviously Kirk Cousins, the Fernando Mendoza combination there. Justin Herbert, obviously, in L.A., Bo Nix in Denver. Number 1, they gave it to the NFC West with Jacoby Brissett, Matt Stafford, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold. So, yeah, if you want to do recent history, Sam Darnold just wins one. Matthew Stafford's won one. Obviously, the Rams will be heavy favorites to win it this year. And, of course, Stafford's coming off an MVP year. I think the AFC West, though, is the best quarterbacks and coaches in the NFL. I think when you look at Mahomes and then you look at Herbert, because I think with talent-wise, I would take Herbert over even Sam Darnold that just won one, and Brock Purdy and Brissett.
So this is where it gets into the accomplishment part versus what we think the talent level is of the quarterback, right? Because I can't argue with you. Brock Purdy has obviously accomplished more than Justin Herbert. He's been to a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. Herbert hasn't won a playoff game. I think still it goes back in at some point, right? Results matter. Like you've got to perform at the biggest moments. Talent-wise, Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. But admittedly, at some point, you got to show me something in those biggest spots. And this is why I know people are anti-QB win and loss, okay? It's not the end-all, be-all because it's misleading. It can be because talent around you and injury and all that. But we're at the point now in Justin Herbert's career where he has nothing to show for the talent. Nothing. Not a division title, not a playoff win. Like, that has to matter at some point.
Unless you look at, that offensive line was completely decimated. They lost both tackles right there at the beginning of the year. No wide receivers to throw to. You look at some of the things that he's had to deal with there, and you think, okay, is this a quarterback problem? Is this a talent around him? He was running for his life because, I'm sorry, you lose your left tackle.
I agree.
At the beginning, before the season even started, then your right tackle, you lose a couple games into it and all of a sudden, even your backup.
But how many years? Like, this can't just be like Justin Herbert's the most unlucky quarterback in NFL history. Like that, I roll my eyes at that a little bit. I mean, he at this point, this will be year 7. Year 7. He doesn't have a playoff.
I get it. There's nothing there. I get it. But I would still, obviously, the NFC West, you can't argue
never
with Matt
finished
Stafford.
higher than 9th in MVP voting. I mean, like, at some point, we can't be sitting here 5 more years from now and be like, man, poor guy.
The thing that it's hard for me to have sympathy for Justin Herbert last year. So he was sacked 54 times last year. The year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow was sacked 73 times, and he went to the Super Bowl. So it's hard for me to say, well, Justin Herbert, he had the bad tackle situation. It's hard for me to have. I know that that's part of the deal, but the best ones find a way to get it done, and I know that people still consider, I think, Justin Herbert to be a top 5 talented in terms of talent quarterback in the league, but we just haven't seen it yet. So based on what we've seen, I would take Brock Purdy before I would take Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
same thing with Bo Nix, obviously,
Well, if there was a draft right now, and Justin Herbert's name there's and Brock Purdy, and to take Purdy over Herbert, I think that'd be.
I would take Herbert from a talent perspective as well. I'm just saying though, at some point, and some people are already there. Like we can't sit here though when he's 33 years old and continue to say like at some point like the guy. This is what I say. Year 7. I mean, if it didn't happen this year for him and the Chargers,
quarterbacks hit their prime a little bit later, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't know, man.
I think you're making too many excuses for him.
I'm not making excuses for him, but I mean, he's had no receivers. The offensive line was decimated. We know that, and they keep getting injuries on defense.
You're basically saying if Justin
talent-wise,
Herbert,
Justin Herbert's put some very good
He's
seasons.
had better wide receivers over the last few years than Patrick Mahomes has had, arguably. Or as good.
It's been lean. That's why they brought Allen back.
Now, if your point is just on a one-off season, that if Justin Herbert for 1 year was in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan and that group, let's call it 2 years ago, and Brock Purdy was with the Chargers, would the results have been the same? Would Justin Herbert have been in the Super Bowl as well?
You could make the case, or with Andy Reid, which quarterback would be better, Herbert or Brock Purdy? Herbert.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's why I'd go that direction.
That's what we think, though. Like, I don't... Some of it is... It's a hypothetical game.
I don't know. He's been dealing with...
Trevor Lawrence has done more than Justin Herbert has.
He's been dealing with fired head coaches, fired offensive coordinators. When Harbaugh came in there, you saw the best of him.
I totally understand, but as soon as he lost head-to-head with Trevor Lawrence, everything that I thought about Justin Herbert was out the window. As soon as he lost to Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, that was out the window. With the coach that the Jaguars fired, and Doug Peterson, I think, shortly after the next season. He had Urban Meyer as his head coach who was kicking players. Too busy not flying back with the team. And Trevor Lawrence has done more than Justin Herbert has.
They've been a mess until now, coaching-wise.
Are you surprised to see the AFC West second on this? Because, again, Mahomes, basically, if you're doing the direct comp, Mahomes, the only player you could compare at all in the NFC West would be Matthew Stafford. Stafford's coming off an MVP. If you go ahead and take a look at the Broncos, Bo Nix, who's the exact comp of the NFC West that gets the leg up? Is that the Brock Purdy or is that the Sam Darnold? Or is Justin Herbert, though, it sounds like you want to compare Herbert to Purdy more than Herbert to Darnold?
I mean, yeah, Mahomes would be the Stafford. Darnold would be the Herbert.
Darnold would be the Herbert.
Is Darnold better than Herbert to you, Bing?
So then Brissett is being compared to Mendoza and Kirk Cousins.
I would take the Raiders in that situation. I would take the Raiders combo there.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett's made a very nice career for himself, but I still think you would feel better about your quarterback situation going in with Kirk Cousins and Mendoza than you would just Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew in 2026.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck. I forgot he's also there.
Yeah, they're lining up for a quarterback.
It's kind of weird. I just realized that. So the Cardinals have that at quarter. So, Brissett, Minshew, Carson Beck. Weird. Running back wise, they have Jeremiah Love, but they still have James Conner, and then they still have Tyler Algier. Like it's just like you got their resources are weird.
Have decent pieces except for the quarterback.
But also I'm just saying like resource wise, like they have the resource allocation seems very weird in Arizona.
What they're doing is banking on the 27 quarterback class because then you got a year 2 Jeremiah Love.
I think it's weird. I think it's.
Then you got Marvin Harrison Jr. there.
He's been a massive disappointment.
Yeah. They're doing it a little backwards, but I actually think that the Cardinals are doing it in a way that might actually really work if they find the right quarterback because they've got the running backs, they've got the tight end. Marvin Harrison Jr. jury's still kind of out on him, but I think from the standpoint of we're building the team first, then we're going to take the quarterback. I think that might help them if they do find. Let's say they stink bad enough and they get a quarterback. They'll have a better supporting cast in year 1. Not to say that they'd be the Bears with Caleb Williams, but a lot of people kind of had that comp for Caleb Williams where, hey, he was drafted into a pretty decent situation. I wonder if the Cardinals are building the team in that way where by the time we get this quarterback, hopefully the offense can be built enough where it's not just going to be him and some no-name wide receivers, kind of like what they've done in Vegas.
And if you're banking on a rookie quarterback, it takes those guys a couple years to get up to speed and get going. And then all of a sudden you have these other pieces that get old at that point or traded off or gone. So that's always a risky run, especially if you get a rookie quarterback to come in, unless you got somebody that's a retread that's coming in like a Sam Darnold. You feel like that's the missing piece you can get, or you go out and get a Mac Jones, something like that. But you're not going to get that.
Mac Jones still wasn't traded, was he?
He was not.
He's going to be the backup one more year. And then I guess depending on how things go, maybe next year some team, even with the loaded draft class, maybe they convince themselves.
Well, the way things are going, he might end up playing quite a few games.
Well, with Purdy's injury history. Yeah. By the way, just for the sake of the conversation, if you're wondering what was the rest of the division, again, this was an article from NFL.com. Divisions ranked by quarterback talent. We already mentioned number 1 was the NFC West. Number 2 was the AFC West. 3 was the NFC East. That was Dak, Dart, Hurts, Daniels. That division should be way better, but Jane Daniels, massive question mark injury-wise. Jalen Hurts, it's a huge year for him and Nick Sirianni. Jackson Dart, still a big question mark. Dak Prescott, I told you, he gets hated on. I think you know what you're going to get from Dak Prescott, especially with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. And then the north of the NFC was 4th. AFC North was 5th. 6th was the AFC East. 7 was the South. And then I already mentioned last was the NFC South. All right, let's get back into the Chiefs wide receiver room a little bit because I alluded to this to start the hour. And this is a big if, admittedly. But if you are banking and someone that still has belief in Worthy having something else there besides what we've seen, and I'll raise my hand, I'm one of those people, then you're going to point to this, which was that the last time Xavier Worthy was fully healthy, and last year we all know he wasn't, was his rookie season. And the final 4 games of his rookie year, what did he do? 384 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he averaged like 96 yards or whatever a game. Almost 100 yards per game and 4 touchdowns. Now that's fun with numbers, right? I obviously picked the last 4 games. But the point is, before we can end the chapter on Xavier Worthy being living up to number 1 or first round pick type stuff, I want to see a fully healthy year. And you can say, well, he's got to stay healthy. Totally fair. And if he gets hurt again, it'll be his own problem. But I'm just saying, last year, 3 plays in, we all know him and Travis Kelce collided. He had that harness on his shoulder the rest of the year. He then also was dealing with an ankle injury, I believe, if not something else on top of that during the season. So that stat, that should be what you like. People like myself, that's what I'm holding on to, is that I have seen when he's healthy, he's capable of that.
It's not only that, it's what do you do in the postseason when it really counts. And he led the Chiefs in receiving yards against Buffalo that year. He led the Chiefs in receiving yards against Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. He had 157 that game. He was number 2 in Houston, but the number 1 wide receiver. He was behind Kelce. I think Kelce hit him by a couple catches in that game. But when it mattered towards the end of the regular season, and especially after week 6, we started to see a big transition with Worthy. The time and space, the placement, catching the football, because he had a problem with that early on, like trying to catch the football, all of a sudden his foot would be out of bounds because he wasn't getting the whole sideline down. But he had a tremendous postseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, okay, I mean, it was one of the reasons they got to the Super Bowl was his play, as a rookie down the stretch without being able to count on the other receivers. But last year, I would like to say it's an asterisk after what happened in play 3 in Brazil when he ran into Kelce. He just never was the same. Whether it's the arm, the ankle, things. Just
do you think when the Chiefs were playing in Brazil, that woman was driving by as well? You think she got? Do you think that happened while the Chiefs were there? Same thing. I don't know. Going back to the trash of the day.
You keep going back to that.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was.
Yeah, you'll have to figure that on your own. You should go go check anatomy real quick if you want to find out where that was. Big suggestion for you.
But regardless, he needs to get back to who he was. Get back to the Xavier Worthy you drafted. Because there's some certain speed with him and Thornton. Because he and Thornton are 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL. You're going to really utilize that speed because you give Mahomes extra protection. You start creeping the safeties up. When Ken Walker's doing his damage running the football, those things play hand in hand. Mahomes off Walker and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Can you start getting the spread down the field? Can you block in place like Simmons and everybody else? Can they give Mahomes the time to hit a Worthy or Thornton down the field? Because both of them have blazing speed.
I want to see him be used like Devontae Smith. Like that's and I know the whole skinny thing is the comp, but that's the way that the Eagles have utilized him. They obviously haven't quite had the same quarterback play with Hurts compared to Patrick Mahomes, but that's how I want to see Xavier Worthy used. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I want to see, because Devontae Smith can go long and go deep, but he also has the ability route running wise, which is where Chad O'Shea comes in, where if he can polish some things a little bit with Xavier and being able to help with his route running and some of that just getting open in the way the scheme looks with Andy, I mean, he can, I don't know, Devontae Smith is what? He's been 1,000-yard guy. I don't know if you were asking for that much from Xavier Worthy, but you're asking
not this year, but going back to
should be around the 850 at minimum sort of range.
Yeah, this year I think most Chiefs fans would lock in 825 to 850 in a heartbeat. Now, bigger picture still, I mean, when you got a first round draft pick on a wide receiver, I think asking for a 1,000-yard receiver is more than fair.
In a 17-game season,
based on where his career has been so far, it would be a huge step in the right direction. If Xavier Worthy was healthy and was over 800 yards, I think that's a great sign moving forward. But it is also not unreasonable if you say, hey, at some point he's got to be a 1,000-yard receiver. I just don't think anybody's expecting that this year. That'd be a hell of a leap. And Devontae Smith, as you pointed out, Drew, 3 1,000-yard seasons actually in his career.
So I mean, again, that's peak. Like I think the best version of Xavier Worthy is Devontae Smith. I think that's.
If he can get back to who he is.
That's where it is.
Keep in mind, with that size, we know the speed's there. It's elite. It's not changing. But can O'Shea help him out in that break? Just getting that 1 or 2 seconds he needs to get down the field, because that's the one thing, the man coverage against him, because he is a smaller guy. But if you can prove, like a Devontae Smith being the smaller guy and still getting you that separation, because nobody's catching him.
I mean,
if you can get that initial break for man coverage and get down there.
That was an issue with the whole receiver room, right? The whole receiver room. Can you win? Can you, in man-to-man coverage, can you win? And they haven't. The answer has been no. Maybe Chad O'Shea unlocks. I've told you, I want to be cautious with it because I think clearly they got a real wide receiver coach now, thank goodness. But at the same time, I don't want to act like, this guy is able just to make miracles happen either.
Yeah, he's still not on the field dropping footballs. Yeah. I mean, it's going to count on the player to do a lot too.
I mean, another guy, Jordan Addison, smaller build. His best season's 9-11 his rookie season. Okay. Then 875, and then last year he was suspended for a few games, so he didn't put up as good. But he was 6'10", had his most average yards per catch. But those are the comps to me, at least, of what you can think from being a number 2 paired to a guy like Justin Jefferson, or again, Rasheed Rice is not Justin Jefferson or A.J. Brown, but from being a number 2 perspective.
Let's get a quick update, soccer update, tournament scoreboard updates. Brought to you by Surfside, made with real vodka and zero bubbles. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly. We've reached halftime, first match of the day. Spain and Cape Verde scoreless, Spank, at halftime. Plenty of opportunities for Spain. I think that I just watched in the final 5 minutes. I feel like they had 3 or 4 corners. Unable. So Cape Verde hanging around. So far, scoreless. I know people were expecting a lot of goals in this match. Not in the first half, at least. 0-0.
I thought this would be a 5-1 game.
You thought it was like Germany-Curacao, huh?
Yeah.
A blowout. But no. Of course, that's why they play second half.
Oh, yeah, it could still end up being 4-0 before this thing is over. I mean, that can. By the way, other matches today, Belgium and Egypt, that's next up, 2 o'clock. Then 2 more later after that, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and then Iran and New Zealand, the late game this evening. And tomorrow, I think, is when it gets really fun. We get France, Mbappe and company. We get Messi with Argentina. So I'm excited for tomorrow's action a little bit more than I am today.
Messi right here in Kansas City.
How about that?
France-Senegal is a fun game. Senegal could definitely win that game over France.
France
also, the Ivory Coast is in one of the friendlies.
Okay.
So, yeah, anything's possible. Ivory Coast got the win last night, too, over Ecuador.
As far as betting markets, France minus 220 to win that match. Senegal would be 6-1, so it'd be a pretty big upset, but it's not the big. It wouldn't be the biggest that we could possibly have. Spain is still minus 475 to win here at halftime. Now minus 500, actually just updated against Cape Verde, and then Belgium is a favorite over Egypt, minus 175, and then Uruguay is a favorite over Saudi Arabia, minus 230.
It's Cabo Verde, right? Not Cape Verde. Or is it?
You're right. I keep saying Cape Verde. I apologize. It is Cabo Verde. No, you're right. No, I'm wrong. You're right. Yeah. I keep saying, wait, is it Cabo Verde or Cape? I think is it interchangeable?
I don't know.
I'm looking at
That's what I was questioning.
2 websites right now. On the match scoreboard, it says Cabo Verde. An article I'm looking at says Cape Verde. Someone will have to give me the background on that. There's probably a reason. Maybe both are interchangeable. I don't know.
Text, I don't know.
Cape Verde or Cabo Verde? Cape Verde, country in Africa. Looks cute.
I had a parlay that didn't hit in this Cabo Verde Spain match that I'm disappointed in. Already.
It can be both, I believe, Alex.
I think it is. Yeah.
Tradition. Cape Verde.
Cape Verde is the tradition. Verde is a traditional English translation. But,
so it could be Cape or Cabo.
Cabo Verde is the Portuguese name given to the islands back in 1444, meaning Green Cape.
I think that's what they have, though, for the World Cup, though, when the scores come on. They have the Cabo.
Okay.
Text line. Can we get Drew to do the accents of each country?
Yeah, playing? Drew, there you go.
No, we can't. That's not going to happen. Nope. I am very fired up that the World Cup is here, though. Like, I know that I was not necessarily on the fence. I knew I would get excited, but since we've had the matches started, I mean, I've caught some of all but 2 of the matches so far. If not, I've watched the whole thing. I've been locked in.
practice since you're close to Argentina?
No, they were selling tickets.
It's not open.
Yeah,
really.
it's not fully open. They were giving out tickets for fans, but I passed on that just because I knew I was going to a match. Didn't need to spend any more than I already have.
Drew's been camped out at Nebraska for Chamart, hoping to see Messi.
I was out a little bit. I was walking around. Haven't seen the influx of people that maybe I was kind of expecting. There's definitely more people, but it's not as busy as it's not as overwhelmingly busy as I thought it could potentially be.
All right, coming up next, guys, let's get to what's trending them back into the Royals. It continues to get worse for them. We also had a championship drought broken. That's up next right here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2 up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Let's say you put your money on Leo Messi in Argentina. They go up 2 early in the first half. Well, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you will instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM's same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. You like Ronaldo in Portugal. You like Harry Kane in England. Whoever it may be, don't miss your shot at an early win with 2 up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals. Regardless of the final outcome of the match, make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. Please gamble responsibly.
This summer, grab a Truly Hard Seltzer. Light, bubbly, fruity, and make your dreams come truly. Join us for our game day watch parties on June 12th, 19th, and 25th at Peanuts locations. Truly Hard Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of U.S. Soccer. Visit Odyssey.com/965thefan for more info on watch parties. And visit TrulyHardSeltzer.com/locations to find Truly near you. Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, LLC, Boston, Massachusetts. Hard Seltzer, 5% alcohol by volume. Please drink responsibly. 21 plus only.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and, of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity can work out for you. Gann Asphalt, one contractor, all things parking lot.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live starting at 10 with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag and more. Presented by Sun Cruiser, the official canned cocktail of the U.S. Open. 96.5, The Fan.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening rounds all the way to the final. Last week, Spain was trading at 17% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade could pay out $572 if they win soccer's biggest prize. Want to know what they're at today? Check Kalshi. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PITCH to get a $10 credit when you trade $10. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only, must be present in state where it is legal to trade. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, value, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. $10 free credit with no expiration. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join 96.5 The Fan at the Peanut in Belton on Friday, June 19th as Bink and Logan broadcast live starting at 11 with kickoff to follow at 2 o'clock. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending. We're 1 day away from the first FIFA World Cup match in Kansas City. That, of course, will be Argentina and Algeria out at Arrowhead. More on that tomorrow on the show. Also, more on that with Jillian Carroll. She's going to join us at 12:30. She's been the host and MC over at FanFest there at the Liberty Memorial. The U.S., of course, on Friday took care of business, 4-1 win. They will face off with Australia this Friday in their second game of the group stage. Australia was able to get a 2-0 victory over Turkey. So both teams coming off wins. But the World Cup, I think we're going to start really feeling the energy more this week and tomorrow, Bink, with the start of the games in Kansas City.
It keeps getting amped up every day with the World Cup here in Kansas City. You had a jersey on, USA jersey on the other night.
I liked it. Yeah, we had a great time hanging out.
You got to keep that rolling, though.
I'll wear it Friday. Yeah,
every game you need to wear it.
Oh, I mean, that's why I bought it. I'll wear it. I'll wear it on Friday. I mean, it's one of those that I'll be wearing throughout the World Cup for sure. Don't forget, there's matches on today. We just mentioned it. First game today, Spain, Cape Verde, scoreless at half.
Royals placed Vinny Pasquantino on the IL with a right hamate fracture, expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. They take on the Nationals in D.C. tonight. I think 5:45, something like that. It starts a little bit earlier, obviously, East Coast game.
Yep, 5:45. Vern's on deck show at 4:30, right here.
There you go.
On 96.5 The Fan. And it looks like it's going to be Mitch Spence. I'm not going to pretend to say I know who that is. He's pitching today for the Royals, according to their website. How about that? As it looks like they option somebody or will option somebody today. We'll find out a little bit later on in the day. Elsewhere, Bink's excited. Chiefs training camp schedule is out. Yeah, Thursday, July 30th up in St. Joe. First practice open to the public. The day before will be season ticket holders only. I'm not sure what day we'll be broadcasting up there for. I think I was talking to the boss. I think there's like 15 shows, Bank, up in St. Joe. My guess is we'll be there Thursday, July 30th. Also, Tuesday, August 4th, Chiefs Alumni Day. Saturday, August 8th is Family Fun Day. And to wrap up camp, as they always do, it's really cool. Military Appreciation Day, Thursday, August 20th. But another sign that football is right around the corner.
They make it every month. There's always something, right? You get the mandatory mini camps in June. You get training camp in July every single month.
Bink's printing out the schedule. Bink already printed out the schedule. He's fired up. I'm talking about the training camp schedule.
Head up I-29. Go see some Ken Walker. Stanley Cup Finals wrapped up last night. Carolina Hurricanes won 3 in a row against the Vegas Golden Knights. This was such a good series. In the beginning, I really thought that the Torts said, hey, I'm leaving my clothes in Carolina because I know we're going back for Game 7. It was a lackluster game. Carolina was just all over Vegas in that game. But I was a little bit sad we're not seeing the Game 7 because this series deserved the Game 7.
Yeah, we're just like that, man. Luckily we have the World Cup and everything, but it's World Cup, Major League Baseball, and then we got to wait till football season, right? I mean, I know there's some golf majors. The U.S. Open is coming up this weekend. That's why you and I are going to be at Minsky's on Thursday.
Huge weekend again.
Yeah, it's
this weekend. College World Series was this weekend.
College World Series still going on.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
UFC had their big event last night.
There's so many sports going on.
Elsewhere on what's trending, the Big 12 is pursuing legal action against Texas Tech. Of course, this tied to the Brendan Sorsby case. The Big 12 seeking clarity in its authority to enforce their bylaws after, of course, a previous judge, granted Sorsby an injunction to play in 2026 despite gambling on his team's games. And since then, locally, the connection is Chris Kobach. Yes, the Kansas Attorney General put out a statement, a 2-page document, I should say, explaining the support he has for the Big 12 and for Kansas and for Kansas State moving forward, and kind of firing a shot towards the Texas Attorney General's office. So now we got 2 Attorney Generals trying to get involved, and it's getting messier every single day.
It's a legal money game at this point. Yeah. Obviously, Texas Tech, a ton of money, but everybody else, a ton of money as well. So this is a battle of money and looking at legal language to see what you can do. But this is definitely interesting college football thing to keep track of throughout the summer. I mean, they better hurry up, too, because we got games coming up here at the end of August.
Yeah, Texas Tech's going to just try to run out the clock here, right?
Yeah, keep stalling, keep delaying, keep going. The NCAA won an accelerated appeal for it, but this will always be set back for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you meet then it's pushed back again a month. Then all of a sudden you're in the regular season, and then all of a sudden it gets lost.
Lastly, on what's trending, just some other news in the NBA besides the Knicks winning a championship, which we'll talk more about in just a bit. Darren Peterson, former Kansas Jayhawk, is only visiting with the Wizards, according to reports. The Wizards do have the number 1 overall pick. So he's trying to position himself, of course, still to go number 1 overall, and that's the only team that he is willing to speak to, have a visit with, I should say.
I think you should.
Said he thinks he's going number 1.
You can say it all you want.
AJ DeBonsa.
You can say it.
You can say it all you want. I still think there's a chance he does. I still think that, despite everything that's happened.
Our boss would not be happy.
Yeah, he's Specs a Wizards fan.
Speaking of droughts.
Sports droughts, yeah. We were discussing long droughts in sports championships after the Knicks broke theirs, 53 years. We'll talk more about that in 10 minutes or so. We also will have a guest on from ESPN New York around 1:10 to talk about what the celebration has already been like and what it means, et cetera, and what to expect Thursday with their parade. I can only imagine the visuals from a parade, and I'm guessing right in the heart of Manhattan for the Knicks on Thursday. But let's get back to the Royals, Bank. And you alluded to it with Vinny Pasquantino, unfortunately, on the IL. And now it's just like one thing after another, continuing to stack up with this baseball team. You know, you have Vinny now out 4 to 6 weeks with a hamate injury. Cole Reagans looks like had a setback. We know the prior injuries. We know way before the injuries started, this team was not playing good baseball. And I've said it over and over, but I can already sense from the organization a little bit that the injuries are going to almost be used as an excuse for the season. I just want to remind people this team stunk long before the injuries happened. Yes, it sucks to see the injuries stacking up now because it's going to lead to them possibly losing 100 games. They're on pace to lose 96. They're
it's
20?
different if they haven't been always popping up. That's the thing. The injuries.
Well, yeah, it's a couple things. One, this team was not performing well long before Cole Reagans got hurt and Chris Bubich or Seth Lugo, unfortunately, took a line drive off the head in a scary, scary situation, right? Those suck, but this team was not performing anywhere near expectation, which was to compete for for an AL Central title, let alone be the worst team in the American League, which is what they are tied for right now, right? With the Angels, if I'm not mistaken. And so
percentage, Angels the only team tied with them.
And then kind of what you were just about to allude to, Bink. The other part is, and this is where absolutely the front office has to face criticism, is it's not as if some of the guys that have gotten hurt, it's one-off injuries. With all due respect to our guy Vitti, he has a history of being hurt. He just does. I hate to say it. 3 out of 5 years, he's missed significant games. Cole Reagans has a history of being injured. Chris Bubich has a history of being injured. You never can predict an injury, but you can have a decent idea of who might be more prone or susceptible to getting injured. And all those guys have gotten hurt, coupled with the other issues that we've already discussed this year, most notably Carlos Estevez, where they all acknowledged, we all knew that he was having a slow ramp up and did a year ago, and they just banked and said, well, he'll figure it out because he did last year. He didn't, and he's played in one game this year for them, and he stunk.
Yeah, you can't continually do it with injuries because that's the expectation. And that's what, the Chiefs go into it. And, to their credit, they actually made a Super Bowl with a lot of injuries to the wide receiver corps 2 years ago. Now, last year, all the injuries and stuff started kind of to bite the Chiefs, but they made a way to go around it. But with teams, you just have to expect this going forward. Certain guys are going to get hurt, and you have to have the next guy to plug and play. In the situation, the Yankees are able to do that because Stanton's always hurt, and if Judge is hurt now, you just throw somebody else in there. But you always have to have the contingency plan, and they just haven't. Yeah, things are great if everybody stays healthy, but the problem is they haven't, and that's something you can't count on. You can't always look at your team on paper and say, well, this is the way it's going to be in August and September. You don't know because it hasn't been. It hasn't been to that place with them. So you always have to worry about that. And every time I see a tweet or something for the Royals, it's like I almost hate to look at it because somebody else is going on the IL. Somebody's recalled from Omaha and someone's going to the IL because it's seemingly what always happens. It's very frustrating at this point. If guys stay healthy, that's fine. You could be a good team, but the problem is they don't. And then you have to take in age regression with certain players and what kind of team you can have.
Yeah, the biggest issue with again, not for the results of the season, because to me they were already trending well before all this to not being a playoff team. But the problem with the injuries that I think really screws you over long term, Bink, is who do you actually think now that I think everybody finally, if there was anybody still holding out hope, everybody agrees that at this point this is not going to get turned around this year. So, okay, look ahead to trades. Who are you actually trading that you're getting something back? You got a bunch of injured players. Some of them would be the ones you'd want to trade, Chris Bubich. Now, maybe he's going to get back here soon, and so he could still be somebody that they trade. But you go through and you look at the age of some of these guys. Michael Wacha might be and he's 34, with a year under contract still remaining. And what that does for your 27 rotation. But he might be one of the only guys you can get much back for. They're not trading Salvador Perez. Matt Strahm, what are you getting back for him? Lucas Erceg has multiple years of control, so I don't really know what they're going to do there. Seth Lugo is 36 years old. What would you realistically get back for if you were even willing to trade him? Vinny's hurt, so that's not even an option if you were ever considering that. You keep go through who could you even trade?
It gets like that, but then they have to look at
Lane Thomas. You hope he catches fire playing center field while Isbel's hurt?
You just hope with the amount of teams, because again, there's 6 teams within 3 games of the wild card, so the market, there's more teams that would probably be willing to trade. But again, you also have to think, do we really want to trade a Michael Wacha? Because you got to think, you got Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, you got a superstar in Major League Baseball. Do you want to get rid of your talent? You can't
waste the next 3 or 4 years.
You want to, yeah, exactly. You don't want to waste the next year. You need to be ready to go for 27. So does that mean lose some of the guys that you actually count on with the Kansas City Royals when you do have, a core player like Bobby Witt Jr. there on the other side, just to see everybody, go by the wayside when he's a superstar? You don't want to see that stuff either. So you got to be cognizant of that. The Royals still need to get the fans all excited about the new stadium and get them going, but you just trade your talent away. It's great if you think you could get something, but can you? But then you always have to consider, what do you have for next year? Because if you go into the same situation without a counted-on guy like a Michael Wacha,
but even then, Michael Wacha's been awesome, but even if you, so it's, this is why they're in a really bad spot, because I agree with you. One, if you trade him, okay, you get something back, but then it hurts your rotation. If you retain him, you don't get anything back, and he's a year older. He'll be 35 next year. Seth Lugo will be, 37 next year? I mean, Salvador Perez will be a year older next year. Vinny Pasquantino will hopefully be back at some point this year, but he'll be a year older. Like, I just don't see the path for this thing getting fixed in the offseason necessarily. And the problem with that is, as you said, when you have Bobby Witt Jr. on your team, you're not punting on 27. And if you are, by the way, it can't be with this regime, because that makes zero sense. So
one of the top three players in Major League Baseball. You have to take advantage of that.
They're in a really bad spot. They're in a really, really bad spot. Vern's post-game shows have gotten even more interesting. I was made aware of this moment over the weekend.
At what point do we consider trading Bobby?
Not anytime soon. What's your answer to that question? Yeah, what do you say? I mean, why are you bringing that up? Why would you trade Bobby Witt Jr.?
I
mean, I know Fesco's dumbass says that in the morning, but he doesn't know anything. But why are you bringing it up?
I can't stand the team right now. I mean, with the bullpen, I know that.
So get rid of the greatest player you've had since George Brett.
So that was Vern. And yeah, I think Bob has advocated perhaps to trade Bobby Witt. The only way...
That's not the best one, though.
No, we'll get to that second. The only way I would ever do that is like 2 or 3 years from now. The year before his opt-out, depending on where the organization is going. That would be the only time I would consider it. There's no reason to do that now or next offseason. This is a 2028 conversation, maybe, and even then, you got to tell me where everything else is aligned with the organization. I'm with Vern on that. You absolutely do not consider doing that, at least until 2028.
Like that in your organization?
And that was Vern's point. Is like
it's almost impossible.
You're going to move on from that, so then hope that you eventually develop another player that turns out to be a generational star. I don't think so.
He's about to enter his prime, man.
Absolutely
what you've seen from Bobby's been great, but it's only going to get better.
Did Bob say, was he the one that said they should trade Travis Kelce as well?
Well, going back 7 years ago, yes.
Okay.
If you're an idiot, that's what it was. Are you an idiot?
Apparently so.
This is what happens, man, when you keep pushing Vern. And the Royals have been pushing Vern. And Vern was not having. That was a Saturday, too. So this was recent. You can always see the season Vern wears it on his shoulders. It's great. I love it. You an idiot?
Yeah, Vern.
Apparently so.
Vern's been going through it the last couple of weeks.
But I like that, though. I like that spirit. I mean, it's okay to call people idiots. I mean, it's fun. He's just letting people know, telling it like it is.
Yeah, I don't see this text. I don't even agree with this. Someone says it can be fixed in the offseason. It just takes Sherman opening up his billionaire checkbook. They have still been, spending-wise, way above their peers in this division this year.
Yeah, they're spending a lot more than what they were talking about this morning.
That's the part
Bob was talking about, too. 8 of the top 10 teams in baseball are the bottom-tiered teams.
Yeah, like fixing it with the checkbook. I mean, yes, you can go and spend a ton of money, but that's not been – maybe your argument is that's the fix, but that's not been the problem. Like, we always want your owner to spend more money than they ever do. Like, that's just being a sports fan, a baseball fan. But – that is not why this team is in this spot. For lack of spending. That is not why at all.
Royals are 19th in spending.
Yeah, that number right there. That's not why the Royals are where they're at.
No.
They have made some major mistakes with front office, development. I think they kept the hitting coach around that should never have kept around. Q at times definitely has put them in bad spots. When you have a season that is a failure the way it is multiple people involved. It's not one individual. Multiple people have led to this team being 28-43. 2 years removed from a playoff appearance.
Yeah, and injuries are
with what is supposed to be the window.
It's
supposed to be the core group.
Record. Yeah,
core group in the window right now is what we're supposed to be in. All right, coming up in 12 minutes, we will talk a little soccer. Jillian Carroll has been hosting FanFest out at the Liberty Memorial. We'll talk a little World Cup. Argentina has their first match tomorrow at Arrowhead. First match here in Kansas City. We'll get to that in a bit. But briefly, the NBA, Bink. The Knicks NBA champs for the first time in 53 years. That happened over the weekend. And so much of the story is going to be about the Spurs collapse. Understandably so. Historical 29-point collapse. And then on top of that, this is one of the least clutch teams I think we've seen in a championship series. Yes, they're young, but they led for 72% of the finals. 72% of the finals, and only won one game. That seems very difficult to do, but they found a way. On the flip side, you look at the Knicks, and you can say the opposite, right? Could there be a team more resilient than the New York Knicks? At one point, they won 13 straight postseason games, and they were 3-1 when down by 15 or more points throughout the entire postseason. Other teams were 6-58.
It just shows you that clutch gene, and with teams, and a couple years ago when the Chiefs keep winning games at the very end of the game, like, oh, they're getting lucky and all that. Well, good teams find a way to win at the end. Bad teams find a way to lose. And we've seen plenty of examples of this in pro sports. I mean, the Raiders might have a lead at the end of the game, then fumble the snap or something. We've seen that happen as well, too. The Spurs, those 1-point losses, the 2 1-point losses they had, the 29-point lead, shooting the ball with 12 seconds left on the shot clock, things like that, not making that one more basket. Some teams have that clutch gene and some teams don't, and you find out right away. We've seen plenty of examples of this. Buffalo Bills don't have that clutch gene because when they get in tight situations, they can't do it and materialize it. Now, it's one of these things, and we always look at players who's clutch and not, but it's a team thing. With some of these teams. Just some teams you can always bank on finding a way. The Knicks are one of those teams that found a way, and the Spurs found a way to lose. They just did. There's no other way to say that team wasn't clutch at all this year, and that should be a major concern for them.
Yeah, I don't want to make it out to be, though, that suddenly, I just don't think Wemby's ever going to be clutch and ever going to figure it out. He's 22 years old. I think the Spurs, maybe they're not back in the finals next year, and if they aren't, by the way, they'll probably fire the young head coach who's been out-coached throughout the series, Mitch Johnson. But I don't want to act like now that the Spurs are just never going to figure it out. My guess is I'm willing to bet you in the next 5 years that they're back in the finals at least twice.
Yeah, they can figure out a way and get it done, but it takes, that one player to start turning around, everybody looking at him as the leader and to do the thing and let him be the guy. Let him be, you're not going to win this game, or my dead body, you're not winning this game. A little Michael Jordan in that. Hey, I don't care if I'm sick or whatever, I'm going to find a way to win this game. Or Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, the second most all-time postseason wins. You find a way to get it done, and you got to find out, you can have great players, but do you have great players when it counts? When it's clutch, when you have it in the postseason, because that's a totally different animal, totally different game when you get to the postseason or not. Guys, Brunson was a different guy when you get to the postseason.
Yeah, Brunson's also 29 years old. You
got to have those guys. You got to have that
Wemby should
clutch
be.
gene.
It's fair to criticize Wemby. I'm not saying you can't criticize him. It's more than fair. He's the best player in the world, and he did not step up in big moments. He should be criticized for that. I just don't think it's fair to right now just act like he's never going to figure it out, and all these other guys would have done it at 22 years old.
It's
Michael Jordan, what
LeBron didn't do it at that age. MJ didn't do it at that age.
If Wemby's 27 years old, 28 years old, and we're still talking about him in these big time moments failing, well then absolutely it's the story of his career, and it becomes a big problem for his legacy.
Well, keep in mind, Dan Marino's in the Super Bowl's second year. Dan Marino was incredible talent. Dan Marino's in the Hall of Fame. People expected great things for the Dolphins to get back with Dan Marino. The question is, did they? No, they didn't.
Right, and again, if it ends up being that in 5 or 6 years, then we can make that comp. But making the Dan Marino comp for Wemby after 22
it's way too early.
Second,
I said it's way too early for that. But there's certain guys.
No, it's
going to be not a given that you're going back.
It's not. I would say the NBA though, when you have a player of that caliber. I don't think the Spurs are just going to be shut out of the NBA Finals the rest of Wemby's career. That just doesn't really happen. And when you're a player on the level of Giannis or LeBron, or back in the day, obviously, in the early portion of Kevin Durant's career, or Steph, or you get on and on and on. Like caliber of Wemby, whether he finishes his career with the Spurs or not, like he's not going to never make the finals again. That's in the NBA. It just doesn't happen for players like that.
No, he'll keep getting better and better. But as far as teams, trying to, like Oklahoma City did with him and try to use defense and everything, get him out of his game. There was some of that where he was kind of thrown out of rhythm, thrown out of his game.
What's weird is they were composed against the
guy
Thunder.
That can go away against that.
They were composed against the Thunder. That's the weird thing. Everybody was worried.
Throwing everything at him.
Everybody was worried that they were going to be the young, inexperienced team against the Thunder, and they were fine against them. The problem, the inexperience showed up big time against the Knicks, is where it was a problem for them.
Just keep coming back, man.
Yeah,
the Knicks had that gene, man.
That was awfully impressive, and another sports drought broken after 53 years. All right, up next, let's talk with Jillian Carroll. She's been a host over at FanFest, also does play-by-play for the KC Current. We'll talk about Kansas City's role in the World Cup and also what to expect from the U.S. men's national team later on this week.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey DQ fans, nothing could make Father's Day more memorable than a DQ cake. Treat Dad, aka Pops, Poppy, or Papa, to one of our delicious fudge and crunch cakes. Or get a cake in one of our other Blizzard treat flavors like Oreo cookie. Customize your DQ cake with a message that celebrates the big guy and all the wonderful things he does. Trust us, it's a lot more fun than a pair of socks or another wacky tie. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Wow your dad this Father's Day. Gift him perfectly aged, oh-so-tender steaks and hand-selected gift packages from Omaha Steaks. Get USDA certified tender steaks at your local Omaha Steaks store at the Fountains in Overland Park. Or go to omahasteaks.com for fast delivery.
When you're ready to paint your home, you want it done right the first time. That's why I trust CertaPro Painters. They aren't just a service, they're local professionals with over 70,000 five-star reviews. From the detailed proposal to the final brushstroke, the entire process was completely worry-free. Get professional painting at the right price. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City, so you're dealing with local. It's CertaPro.
It is out of here.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the seventh inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Join us at 96.5 The Fans World Soccer Headquarters at the Peanut in Belton on June 19th with Bink and Logan starting at 11 and kickoff at 2. Presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer, and by Security Bank of Kansas City, boldly local since 1933.
Even on weekends and holidays, Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric shows up. Expect reliable HVAC plumbing or electric service. Plus, enjoy $500 off a new HVAC system this summer. Schedule your free consultation at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC-Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road.
Join us at 96.5 The Fans World Soccer Headquarters at the Peanut in Belton on June 19th. That's this Friday. Bink and Logan will be out there starting at 11. Kickoff at 2. We'll be giving away coolers, prizes to those in attendance, presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer. We're about 10 to 15 minutes away from the random question of the day, but excited to welcome in Jillian Carroll to the show to talk a bit more about what we've seen so far during the World Cup and obviously right here in Kansas City. And it really gets going tomorrow with Argentina at Arrowhead. But Jillian, I was out at FanFest on Thursday, day one, and I noticed right there on stage, you were one of the hosts, one of the MCs throughout FanFest. What do you make so far of what Kansas City's been able to do already in the first, 4 days or so of FanFest in this World Cup?
Yeah, it's been great. First of all, thanks for having me, guys. Great to hear from you. And just everything has been, so many years building up to this, but it's been worth the hype for me. It is buzzing. The fans came out in full force, whether it be for the Mexico game or the Netherlands game. We have seen people come out with their flags, their kits, their fandom. And I think they're getting quite a treatment out at FanFest. The energy has been high. They have great access to multiple screens to make sure that they can catch the game. You got the VIP areas, the kids' activities. I mean, you name it. FanFest is truly set up to have just an enjoyable experience for the kind of most diehard fan or even just a casual fan as well. So far, so good. As you mentioned, I'm biased. I'm on stage. I'm having a blast. But I really do think the community and the visitors have taken it in and really enjoyed it so far.
Jillian, what's been the most frequent question to you when an international guest comes up to you and asks you something about Kansas City or what they should be doing? What's the number one thing they're asking?
Honestly, it's where should they eat? They want to know where to eat. They want to go to some excellent food, but they want different types. They want our recommendations. I'm not huge on the barbecue like I know everyone in our community is, but I'll give my recommendations. I'm a Gates girl. I'll say it. But people want to know, different types of food, different types of restaurants, downtown, out south, not only bars to watch games, but where should they go for morning coffee? Where should they go for dinner after the match, things like that. So it's been exciting to be able to make sure that local businesses, local groups get a little bit of the spotlight as well.
And I'll say this, Jillian, I know your work with the KC Current, but they have a tremendous training facility in Riverside. It's not where the stadium is, it's in Riverside. It's tremendous. It's where the Morton Amphitheater is. There's a lot of action there. And I'll say this, the community of Riverside really embraced the Netherlands. They changed some of the crosswalks orange. They changed the fountains to orange and everything else. And they're seeing an uptick. Just talking to some people there in businesses, they're seeing a lot of uptick. And then I sit there and watch Netherlands. There was their first game, I think it was in Dallas, wasn't in Kansas City. It looked like 50,000 people outside. Of course, that group will be in Kansas City soon. But it seems like a lot of these fan bases have come.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, to say that Riverside has turned orange is an understatement. And you have to shout out Mayor Kathy Rose because she's led the charge. Of course, the Current as well, like you said, Bink. The facilities themselves are what drew Netherlands there, obviously. But, yeah, watching the Netherlands fans has just been so fun. And this is what the World Cup is about. This is the culture that we're seeing from across the world and different countries bringing it to wherever they show up. And these Netherlands fans have shown up. I cannot wait for the fan walk when I forget where they're starting. I want to say somewhere near Power and Light. And their plan is to march. So we're going to see the sea of orange coming up to the Fan Fest. I cannot wait just for that entire experience. But it should be fun. And I do think Kansas City has embraced. I feel like our, I don't know if you want to call it the hometown team. Obviously, we're all USA. However, I think we've really adopted Netherlands as one of our favorites just because they are so out there and they're trying all the Kansas City culture. They're bringing their culture. I'm sure you guys have heard about the bus.
Oh, yeah. They shipped that thing all the way over.
Is that wild or what? But that's what they do. And so, having that come through KC, I'm stoked. Like I said, I caught the match yesterday out at FanFest. I had the afternoon off, so I was watching, and there were fans everywhere. And then fans they mentioned that fans were coming up because where'd they play? Dallas yesterday? Yeah. So I think we're going to get a big cohort of orange men and women coming up from Dallas for the match here soon. So I can't wait. It's going to be a blast.
We're talking to Jillian Carroll here on 96.5 The Fan. I know none of us have experienced a World Cup in Kansas City before. We're going to get that for the first time tomorrow, the first match that is out at Arrowhead. What do you think that's going to be like? I mean, you've covered soccer for much of your life. You've been part of soccer, around soccer. What do you think that's going to be like for everybody in Kansas City that maybe is headed out to Arrowhead?
Yeah, it's incredible, and I have a deep love and appreciation for Arrowhead as well. So, and I have been to a World Cup. I went to the Women's World Cup in France in 2019. So being a part of those fan marches and just being a part of that atmosphere, knowing that we're going to have that here in Kansas City at Arrowhead, like I am already like goosebumps, giddy, all the things, all the emotions. And I think we deserve it. I think it's incredible to watch the growth of the game of soccer here in Kansas City, whether it been youth leagues or obviously our professional teams, our commitment to high-class, high-quality facilities, the community buy-in. I mean, the list goes on. We all know that this has been 10 years in the making almost. And, I can't wait. I just want to express to people, like, you can't expect to just pull up and park and walk in. Right, chill out a little bit. Get there early, understand this is a massive, massive event. And I would say, like, just lean into the positive side of it because, people go negative quick, right? So just be prepared. Take it all in. This is the world's biggest event, and it's happening in our city. I cannot wait. Oh, and then, by the way, Messi and Argentina are playing. Man, does it get any better?
Well, I tell you, they're talking about Kansas City being one of the hottest home sites in the World Cup because of the temperature, because of how hot it's been in Kansas City. And then tomorrow's going to be like perfect, low humidity. It's going to be perfect. I will say this, though, Jillian, do the fan bases that made their way to Kansas City, do they like tornadoes yet?
I know, right? It's like, hey, welcome to Kansas City, your first night. We're going to hit you with the tornado sirens. Yeah. We're going to hit you with the wind. We're really just going to, welcome you to
everyone that's come here. We've had that night.
It's been wild, but it's cool. I mean, they'll just get a taste of what living here is really all about, I guess.
It's been one of those things we've had, I think, every night.
Before we let you go, Jillian, I have to at least ask you, of course, about the performance from the U.S. men's national team last Friday, and a hell of a way to start this thing off. We know they got another match Friday against Australia. What did you think of their performance? Specifically, that first half was awfully special.
Yeah, this is incredible. I think this could possibly go down as the strongest start just because they're coming out with a +3 goal differential. So I don't know that 90 minutes was their best soccer of 90 minutes. However, they're coming out with a +3 goal differential. That's huge, specifically in this Group D where they are favored, but Turkey's going to give them a hard time. So, getting back to the match, it was incredible. The own goal, you can't credit them. I mean, you could say they forced it, whatever. However, the next three were solid finishes, solid build-up. I think one of them was Giorina's, his build-up, that 20-plus pass build-up, 20-plus passes that USA had possession, and then it resulted in a goal. I mean, that's tremendous. So then you got guys like Chris Richards who had 100% passing.
Yeah, what was that, 83 or something? Yeah.
84 for 84. I mean, the dude went off. I mean, it's incredible. And then you got to talk about Balogun. Like, what a performance. I think this team is a unique kind of fusion of the vets plus some young stars, and I think that's what this team needs, like a little bit of a refresh. And, yeah, I think it was a strong start, like I mentioned. I do think Turkey's going to give them a hard time. I think the Turkey match will determine who gets out of Group D. I think they're going to have to come ready to try to pick apart Australia, who might want to sit back a little bit, park the bus a little bit, pinch in. But I think they absolutely have high potential to come out of this group. And if they play the way they did in the first match, I mean, it's going to be an exciting tournament for the red, white, and blue.
Has your expectation, I guess, what was your expectation for the U.S. in terms of how far they can go? And depending on that, has it changed at all?
I mean, that's a solid question. I mean, look back, what was it, 2018? This team did not qualify. 2022, they got into the quarterfinals, right? Like I said, I think it's a really good roster. I think they tossed it up a lot and brought in guys who needed to be there, and some guys stepped away who probably needed to step away. So expectations after match one, I think they're a little higher than I anticipated going in. And I don't know if I'm just admitting being a little bit cautious here, but going in, I wasn't quite sure how this team would perform, and I didn't know if they'd buckle under the pressure of being a host country. And I think they proved that, no, they're going to rise to the occasion. So I have higher expectations based off their first performance, and how I would say just kind of inclusive it was. We didn't see one guy doing everything. We saw, again, that goal that was a 20-pass buildup. That's impressive. If you can maintain possession for over 20 passes and result in a goal, that's fantastic. So, yeah, I think I have higher expectations now. I'm a little more hopeful. I was coming in a little cautious. But, yeah, excited to watch them take on Australia. And then, of course, like I mentioned, I think Turkey's going to give them the toughest challenge. But we'll see. So far, so good. Some of the young guys have been exciting. You know, Giorena's first World Cup game, boom, scores a goal. I mean, that's what you got to see, right? That's exciting stuff.
Jillian Carroll, you can see her out at FanFest as well. Have you been trying to learn other languages? Because I know you guys, I feel like when I was there on Thursday, I don't know if it was you or it was Kimmy who was also with you there on stage. If I feel like there was some Spanish being spoken.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I always try.
Jillian, thanks so much for the time. Have fun out there tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
There you go. Jillian Carroll with us here on 96.5 The Fan. Talking a little bit about FanFest. Again, no FanFest today. Back open tomorrow. Kansas City with Argentina and Algeria. I'm sure it's going to be an awesome scene. Not only in 15 minutes, we'll talk more about Tyreek Hill, who was actually hanging out with Chiefs fans over the weekend. And we'll get back into the NBA Finals with Jake Asman from ESPN New York around 1:10 or so. But, Bink, it's time for the random question of the day.
Random question.
Active effort, but no one of our picks made it to the random question.
Why?
Because something was on TV right
when
we
okay.
walked
So
in.
then you are picking something.
Well, yeah, but not the picks we actually had.
Okay. All right. Well, then what's the random question of the day?
They were showing ramen noodles.
Okay, so 913-586-7965 for the text line. You're asking, would I eat these? So
would you eat them? Yeah.
I just looked it up. I found the story. So cup of noodles, right? Cup noodles, if you're anybody, I'm sure familiar with those. They have different.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's terrible, but yeah, I would. If you brought in a cup noodles and it was Kansas City barbecue, I would try it. But I'm worried that like the sauce flavor they have is probably awful.
I don't know. I mean, you see
Why not
Kansas
try
City
it?
and
Sure.
ramen noodles, you throw the barbecue. I mean, I saw that and I was like,
if I can find it in a store, if you want to bring it in, Bank, if you find some, you bring it in tomorrow or later this week, when does it launch?
I can't tell you when the last time I bought those were.
I will have it. Yeah, it's been since college for me. They're doing this to celebrate 4th of July and America's 250th. And they're doing Kansas City barbecue and Texas barbecue. Here's what they describe the flavor for the Kansas City barbecue cup noodles. Bold, sweet, and unapologetically saucy. A rich tomato-based sauce layered with garlic, onion, hint of smoke, and pork notes. The kind of soft, forward flavor KC is famous for, they say.
There you go.
Coating every noodle in something that tastes like it took a lot longer than 4 minutes. Okay.
perfect. Sounds awesome, doesn't it, Drew?
Are you in?
I'm in.
I haven't had barbecue ramen, or I haven't had ramen period in a very, very, very long time as well.
Like cup ramen. You've maybe gone to like one of those ramen places and there's actual restaurant ramen. That's different than this.
Yeah.
One thing about barbecue flavors that we asked Jillian, and the questions she's been asked. I am curious. I know it's a cliche, and we make fun of it all the time. I do when new Chiefs or Royals come in town. They say, "What's your favorite barbecue restaurant?" I know we joke about that, but literally, To me, that's the only question or only answer. If someone internationally asks you where they should go,
You got to go barbecue.
it's 100% acceptable. It's the only answer to go because you're not going to find any barbecue better in the world than the Kansas City. That's just I know it's cliche and all that, but you say, and you give them a list of barbecue restaurants, you say that's where you go.
International or not. I mean, I had a friend of mine, ironically enough, from Texas, actually, that now works in the Kansas City area and went to a Royals game with him before we went to have lunch, and it was a no-brainer. We went to a barbecue restaurant. I mean, it's
100%.
If someone's not from Kansas City, you recommend barbecue. Now, I don't think I'm going to be recommending cup noodles for the Kansas City barbecue. For the first Kansas City barbecue flavor, it should not be a cup noodles or anything like that.
Well, the text line just saw the cup noodle van at Hy-Vee yesterday.
They have a van?
There's a van around with the cup
There's
noodles.
a cup noodle van?
Yeah.
Stop by the station.
Get
I'll
the
try some right now. Stop by the station. We'll try a couple. Someone says it's going to taste like KC Masterpiece. You're probably not wrong. It's probably going to be that sauce flavor. By the way, in the World Cup, you see this? This is 85th minute, 86th minute.
Stunner.
Spain and Cape Verde, 0-0. Spain, one of the favorites to win this whole thing. They can't score. They've had chance
What were the
after
odds
chance.
on that?
To be scoreless? I don't know.
For them to draw was at least 10 or 12.
But
to
even
1,
a draw like scoreless too. Like it's pretty. Now look, Spain could still score a goal here in the final 10 minutes or so, including stoppage time. It's very like they have so much pressure on Cape Verde, who's clearly now just packed it in entirely. Why not? They get away with the draw.
You stall away, yeah.
Oh, if you get a draw against Spain, it's a win. It's basically a win for you.
Faking injuries at this point.
Yamal's in, huh? There he is. He's what, 19, 20?
18.
18, jeez. Yeah, and he's one of the best players in the world, and he did not start for Spain.
No, because he's been dealing with coming back from a hamstring injury. I think that he had either in Champions League play or in La Liga play. Otherwise, he definitely would be starting. He was runner-up in the Ballon d'Or. He's considered to be a top 5 player in the world at 18, which is pretty nuts.
What were the odds in this game before it started?
As you asked me, I don't know.
I think Spain probably was minus 2,500-ish, something like that. I might be
They're going to
wrong.
fire their coach after the game?
No.
So how about that? So Tunisia got embarrassed by Sweden 5-1 over the weekend. And one day after that, they fired their manager. And I asked Beck, I was like, what's the story? Why even have him make the trip to the World Cup or whatever? And I guess the goalie for Tunisia that they started was inexperienced. They had a veteran goalie, and the manager chose to start the inexperienced guy, and it went poorly, to say the least, and so they fired him. He's already done.
And they got games still to play.
Tunisia plays here at Arrowhead in 10 days against the Netherlands, and they're going to clearly they're going back to the veteran goalie now after that move. But that was bizarre to me. So do you think that the Tunisia coach has to pay for his own flight back? I mean, it's not like he just in Tunisia. He traveled all the way to the United States.
Talk about quick firings, man. He's still got games to play.
Yeah. I guess I don't get that. Drew's locked in, 88th minute, scoreless.
Drew needs to be the MC down there at FanFest with his accents.
No, I don't.
They can have them rotate
Jillian
different.
Carroll does a
They
monumentally
rotate
better job than I ever
rotate different jerseys. Drew's used to doing that. Drew can just one moment he's wearing a Mexico jersey, the next he's wearing a Netherlands, the next Algeria,
get the crowd hyped
Tunisia.
up.
Yeah, give me some Dutch, Drew.
I don't know.
People
any
want
Dutch.
your accents. Text line's been asking all day for accents of the different countries.
I'm not gonna. I can't give that to. I can't give that to you.
You don't have an accent for Cape Verde?
No.
Okay. I want to see. You know, I want to see Bink at a World Cup match. Actually, that's what I want to see. Jay Binkley at a World Cup match.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm actually enjoying the World Cup, and I thought I would.
You
because
are.
I like competition. It's like when you're watching the Olympics. You're watching a lot of sports that you normally wouldn't play. Or
I'm
anything
surprised,
else, but you just
honestly.
enjoy the competition of it. I actually enjoy.
I thought you'd be a hater. You could be a hater sometimes about soccer.
But I'm not but these kind of international competitions, when everybody's playing for their country or stuff, that's fun. All the pressure riding on them from back home to their country and everything else. I think it's great. I'm actually enjoying it. And I usually go watch the World Cup. I enjoy watching these games more than sporting or something like that. You're watching,
I do
World Cup
really
games.
appreciate too when they show the ref cam. Or when
Yeah,
they
do
show
you like the
referee
ref
view.
cam?
It looks a little wonky, because it's
I don't
bouncy.
think we're
and
getting
it's not
much out
smooth,
of
but
it.
I actually really like it. It shows their perspective a little bit of what it looks like. It's interesting.
I don't know if we're getting all that much out of it. I'll tell you the one thing that so far has been ridiculous. These new hydration breaks that they've added is an absolute joke.
Oh, that's for money.
That someone did a breakdown of this. So Fox paid $485 million for the rights to broadcast the World Cup. The New York Times claimed that the fair market value on the rights would have been $1 to $1.5 billion. So you're like, why did Fox only pay $485? Well, FIFA announced mandatory 3-minute pauses midway through each half of all the matches, not just the ones where it's warm. So even when they're indoors, they're still doing hydration breaks. Ridiculous. FIFA gave Fox 2 minutes and 10 seconds per break, starting at 20 seconds after the whistle, ending at 30 seconds before. So someone did the math. Across 104 games, that's an extra 832 potential ad slots for Fox that did not exist in soccer before this tournament. And so Fox and Telemundo project a combined $850 million in ad revenue from the World Cup. And so that's how they made that's how they made up for that. And so now I'm guessing this will be the standard going forward. But why hydration breaks when they're playing indoor in Houston or Dallas? It makes no sense. I get it when it's heat index 105. I understand, but they did it strictly to get in more commercials. What a greedy thing. And basically, we've now made soccer have quarters. We've got like 4 quarters to soccer.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's interesting because they've obviously been talking about the heat and stuff, but some of these matches that are like in Houston where the stadium's covered, it's like, well, they don't need the stadium. They don't need the hydration break like other places may need it, but you have to do it because it's what everybody else is doing. I don't know.
They changed a lot of rules too, didn't they, right before this?
I mean, it is a little bit different just between the hydration breaks and more teams being in and all the other stuff. It feels like this is the one where if there were changes to be made that this would be the one to do it.
Because with 48 teams, you have 2 per group that get taken out, but also there's another 8 third-place teams that'll advance, right? So not only the top 2 from each group, but they'll take 8 others
just because there's
that
so
finish
many.
third.
It's a lot different. Bink, somebody says, and I think I agree with this actually, that you would enjoy hanging out with the Scottish fans.
Oh man, they're going crazy.
They took over Fenway the other night.
Oh man, they're going nuts with the liquor.
Is that why you think he'd fit in?
Scott's are ready to roll, man.
That's what the text line
Bink
suggests.
playing the bagpipes and tights or whatever. Everything.
I think Drew's Scottish accent.
Kilt on, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Drew's Scottish accent.
Oh, it'd be amazing. This thing, I mean, barring a big, we're gonna get a tie here. We're gonna get a draw.
Cape Verde had a very, very nice
5 minutes of stoppage time. They're already in the 93rd minute, and it's 0-0. Spain, a draw here would be a big upset.
Chance.
This is probably the last opportunity for Spain here. Otherwise, we might be getting a draw. We'll see.
Just throw 3 minutes. We'll see. Lamine Yamal is. You could just tell there's like a buzz. I turned the sound on a little bit.
We don't have any sound. I can't tell, actually.
I turned the sound on when you guys had Julian on just a second. You could hear whenever he touched the ball, it was the buzz in the crowd got loud.
Didn't they have a clock too where you have to throw the ball in with a certain amount of time where you lose it? So they had that clock.
He's got a yellow card, actually. Just handed out. Someone did ask a question as it relates to tomorrow in Kansas City. They said, tell me why Arrowhead parking works fine for 80,000 Chiefs fans, but such a drastic difference for 80,000 soccer fans. Because if you've been to Kauffman Stadium this season, you've seen that there's massive tents in the parking lot that they're utilizing big spaces for the World Cup, whether it's the FIFA shop or whatever, and security is another part of it.
Didn't the Royals
they want to have a legit perimeter,
just,
and they have massive tents in the parking lot, so there's not as much space. But a lot of it is a security reason.
Haven't the Royals lost like 9,000 spaces or something just for all the tents and stuff they had?
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
the Royals lost some parking on it. If you
are going to a match, you'll notice it right away. Or if you just went to a Royals game recently, there's huge tents in the Truman Sports Complex parking lot, taking up hundreds, if not thousands, of spots. And I think some of it's a security reason. They're trying to keep the perimeter kind of tight for that. So you can Uber down there. They sold a limited amount of parking spots. Most people, they're suggesting take the bus there. And I saw Oak Park Mall, the buses that go to the stadium for all the group stage matches are already sold out. Like you can't get a ticket out of Oak Park Mall. You got to go to other place around town to get that.
Wow.
As soon as I found out that my tickets were good to go, I got the pass. I'm good to go for Thursday. So
look at you, Drew. You come to Kansas City and look what all you've done.
Yeah.
You got the NASCAR.
This will only be the second time he's been to Arrowhead. This will be the second time he's been to
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead. See, it would have been his first. We almost would have been his first time.
That's
almost.
True.
Barely made that happen.
You've been able to do everything here, Drew.
Just about, yeah.
All right, coming up next, guys. We'll keep an eye on what happens with Spain and Cape Verde. Also, Tyreek Hill was in the Kansas City area over the weekend hanging out with Chiefs fans. Plus, we'll head to New York and check in with a radio host out there who's a lifelong Knicks fan and find out if the city's going to handle Thursday's parade well or not.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Join 96.5 The Fan and Circus Sports for Parlays and Pints with Mac Morey and Drew Nixon at Beckett's in the Crossroads this Saturday, June 20th from 3 to 5. Enjoy prizes, cold drinks, and sports talk. Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. Visit circusports.com.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
As World Soccer hits the big stage, take the field with Fanatics Sportsbook. It's built for fans who want more from their bet. This summer, Fanatics Sportsbook is making every moment count with 10 100% profit boosts over the first 10 tournament days. That's 1 profit boost per game day. So every time the world's best hits the pitch, you've got a chance to double your winnings. And every goal, every save, every result means more. Plus, new customers get up to $1,000 in fan cash. That's $100 bet matched every day for your first 10 days. The world is ready. Are you? Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. CT, call 888-789-7777. MA, call 800-327-5050. NY, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app.
Expect mostly clear skies tonight with a low of 58.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
This Father's Day, spoil your dad with everything Gates Barbecue. Be sure to visit your local grocer for Gates sauces and seasonings. Both are delicious on meats, fish, chicken, veggies like broccoli and spinach, and on hot buttered popcorn, even as a topping for dips or sprinkle Gates seasonings on chips and nuts to add that extra flavor pop. Nothing says Father's Day like a Gates party tray, sure to please everyone at the table. Be sure to prepare your Father's Day meal with Gates sauces and seasonings. So head to Gates Barbecue this Father's Day. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
Sun Cruiser is the official ready-to-drink canned cocktail of the U.S. Open and U.S. Women's Open. We're excited to bring our vodka iced teas and lemonades to golfers and drinkers everywhere and support these 2 prestigious championships and their fans with a refreshing Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea. Crisp, clean, and no carbonation for the perfect sipper on the course. Join us for the U.S. Open watch party with special giveaways on June 18th and 19th at Minsky's locations. Visit odyssey.com/965thefan for details. Please drink responsibly.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. I saw, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live starting at 10 with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag and more. Presented by Sun Cruiser, the official canned cocktail of the U.S. Open. 96.5, The Fan.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today, and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market, starting at 10 for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, 1 o'clock hour. It's Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon with you. Jay Binkley in for Cody this week and next week. Just saw it come across the timeline during the break, Bink. We were talking about the World Cup. The number one market for last Friday's USA game on Fox, number one market in the entire country, Kansas City. 9.2 rating, 29 share. This is not surprising to a lot of us in Kansas City. KC consistently does very well when it comes to soccer matches on an international scale from a ratings perspective. Kansas City was 1, Boston was 2 with an 8.6. San Diego and Dallas and St. Louis all with a 7.3. Massive number, not surprised at all. That's why a big reason why we got the World Cup.
Doesn't surprise me. Any event. I mean, you look at the Olympics, everything, Kansas City's right there in the top. Always at the top.
Number one,
Super Bowls, even with the Chiefs before they went on this run.
It's a great sports town.
With Mahomes, they were always at the top.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable sports town. It's incredible numbers yet again. For
Hence why
Kansas
we
City.
need split screens.
Well, hopefully Friday.
We're not a weather town, we're a sports town.
Hopefully Friday afternoon, Bink. There's no severe weather in the area.
We're a sports town, not a weather town.
Yes, thank you.
Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Before we decide to do split screens, that people love sports in this town.
I just think they have to figure out the actual percentage of the screen.
Figure it out. The ratings would say people like sports in this town.
I could picture you just yelling at your TV.
Oh, Bink gets angry.
Oh, during the Stanley Cup, I did.
Bink gets angry. He blew up everybody's phone during the Stanley Cup Finals.
I was pissed. Can you believe this crap? We're in 2026.
Yeah, we are. We are, Bink. Thank you.
Figure it out.
We are in 2026. Coming up in about 6 minutes, Jake Asman from ESPN New York and the Jake Asman Show going to join us. Lifelong Knicks fan. We'll talk to him about what that meant on Saturday night with the Knicks breaking their long championship drought, what Thursday could look like. We'll just get a vibe check on New York City with the Knicks. Also, they got a World Cup match. A match is taking place there at MetLife Stadium, so we'll check in with him in just a little bit. But did you see on social media over the week in the video, Tyreek Hill was at a car dealership, I'll say in the area-ish. It was actually in Jefferson City, but still, we'll call it the area. He was at a car dealership there, giving out signed Chiefs balls at a meet and greet, throwing footballs to the crowd or whatever. The place was packed, by the way. It looked like it was a huge crowd. Isn't this just more signs that he's trying to integrate himself again with Chiefs fans that he desperately wants to be in Kansas City with the Chiefs, and that we're all just waiting this out to find out, is his knee capable of letting him play football? I mean, on this, he's just walking around. You can't. Nobody's gonna be able to tell if he's healthy or not based on this. But it's just, to me, you're not doing this unless you think there's a real chance that you're signing with Kansas City. He continues to hang out in the area. I understand there's family reasons too, but I don't know, man. This to me makes it even more likely.
Well, he sees an opportunity from being here, and the Chiefs' tendencies to keep bringing players back. It becomes alluring, and the fact that their number one wide receiver still in jail for about another day, but still
he's out tomorrow.
But the Chiefs need wide receiver help. It's his former team. Team brings back all its former players. He's probably absolutely loving this. In Jeff City, he got a huge fan base in Jeff City, man. It's all Tyreek. They were excited to see him.
The one thing else was pointed out in the video, he signs footballs with his right hand. He throws the football with his left. Not that it matters. I just thought it was interesting. I just thought that was interesting. He throws the football in the video with his left hand to the crowd, and he's signing with his right.
It's kind of like Creed Humphrey. Remember, he could snap from the left or right.
Do you want him back?
No.
You don't?
I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, honestly, would you take him now with the situation with the wide receiver group they have now? Not a huge fan of bringing players back. But the one thing is, I just don't know about the health. I mean, again, you can't always go by name. Can you still run? Can you still do the things that made you special when you played, or do you become more of an average player now when you don't have that physical ability? That's my biggest concern, because he would make those 70, 80-yard plays, but he also would be one of the league leaders in drops in the NFL. Even that year at Miami, he had that huge year, 1,800 yards or whatever. He still was, number 2 in the NFL in drops. So he's had that issue going forward. And, of course, we saw the fumble that he had as well in Munich. But catching the football, but again, all those things are erased when you go 75 yards the next play. People don't remember this, but can you do the intermediate stuff that trusts you, or can you be the Tyreek Hill that he once was? And that's very tough to do. Father Time is undefeated when it comes to football players.
My thing with him at this point, other than the other stuff that might make you not want him to come back, is just that knee. I mean, that is a serious knee injury. And there's a chance he's just not the same guy at all on a football field. And it's a big reason why he's not signed. I mean, there was the reports going all the way back to March, Bink, where even if a team wanted to sign him, that he couldn't pass a physical then. And that doesn't mean he won't be able to pass one now or a month from now. I think we're really not going to see any more action on this until training camp. We get to training camp, then I think the conversation starts back up again. Like, hey, is he ready? Let's check in and see the knee is. But that was not just a torn ACL for Tyreek Hill. So he's at a car dealership, in Jefferson City, not terribly far from here, hanging out with Chiefs fans, signing autographs. He's been in KC throughout the offseason at times, working out. Like, the connection is obvious there. I would be almost surprised if he signs anywhere this year if it's not in Kansas City. Now, there's a chance he's never ready to play football in 2026.
I'm with you. And as far as he looks at this situation, you're talking about the number one player on the NFL Top 100 just a couple of years ago, right?
That was a long time ago, though.
I know. But
time flies in the NFL.
But that's how fast things go. You're talking about the number one player in the NFL, and teams are hesitant to bring him back. And again, I think a lot of it is scheme fit, where, he can go. But again, he's got to change kind of his style of playing from what made him that great receiver that he was. The speed was the ultimate thing with Tyreek Hill.
Let's pivot a little bit to the NBA Finals. Of course, the Knicks breaking that long 53-year drought. They're champions, and we've talked about droughts in sports, and of course, it was not that long ago where the Chiefs had a 50-plus year drought with the Kansas City Chiefs, or a 30-year drought with the Kansas City Royals, and the way the Knicks did it was awfully impressive. To talk more about what that means to the city there of New York City, and also if the parade, how crazy the scenes are going to be on Thursday. We welcome in Jake Asman from ESPN New York, the Jake Asman Show as well. Jake, good to have you. I've known you for multiple years now. At this point, I guess almost 8 years, maybe 10 years now. I know you're a lifelong Knicks fan. So for you, I'm happy. I may not be happy overall a team in New York won, but for you, I'm happy.
Wow, you actually were rooting for the Spurs, Alex?
I was.
What you saw from Victor Wembanyama and the antics from him, this shocks me. But hey, the Knicks won, so that's all I really care about. But I've known you a long time, and since I've known you, none of my teams have won. And even the Yankees, who are good every year, they were in the World Series a couple of years ago. By their standards, they've had a 17-year championship drought. So it's surreal that the Knicks of all teams are a team that wins this championship. And you brought up the parade. Thursday, they're expecting 5 million people.
Oh, wow.
It is going to be out of control.
Yeah, what's the last 48 hours been like, though? I mean, for that city, we've all seen the videos at this point, but just whether it's you're texting with your buddies or whatever, what truly does this mean to that city?
Well, it's so unique, and I think a lot of people might not understand why the Knicks are such a big deal. I think the best way I could try and describe it is New York is a town where you have 2 football teams, 2 baseball teams, and while the Yankees and the Giants are the more popular teams, they have more fans. There's a massive amount of Met fans in this town, a massive amount of Jet fans in this town. There's 3 hockey teams between the Rangers, the Islanders, and Devils that all have their fans. And with respect to the Brooklyn Nets, we're talking maybe 5 to 10% of the area roots for them. So the Knicks are the one team that unites everyone. They have an incredibly passionate, loyal fan base, and it kind of brings that one team in the city feel to the biggest city in the country. And people just really gravitated to this team. They have gotten close the last couple of years. It's a bunch of guys that are really likable. And I just think the run that they went on really unified everyone. Even people who aren't sports fans started to get involved. So everywhere you go for the last month, you see people wearing Knicks gear, Knicks hats, shirts. And now it's just, it's insane. All the lights at night are orange and blue if you live in the New York City area. All the different bars have been packed for about a month straight during this run. You can't get a seat at any bar in the area. Forget just the bars around where Madison Square Garden is located. So since I have been a sports fan, I have never seen a team that is this beloved universally by the people in this area. So it's been crazy the last couple of days, and it's going to be, I'm sure, just an absolute scene people won't ever forget on Thursday when the parade is expected to be.
Yeah, I felt good for the Knicks fans because 53 years, long time. It was 50 years for the Chiefs. 50 years, and I just remember this city. They always do these city surveys. No one cared about the potholes. Nobody cared about anything. They care about the sports because you can definitely notice the difference between people and everything when you win. I don't know if it's like you, Jake, because everybody kind of exhaled that they finally did it. They never believed it would happen in their lifetime. There was a lot of those kind of questions, with the Chiefs. Are they just going to keep doing this every year? Am I going to live long enough to see them win? All that goes away. I can't imagine what it's like in New York with those kind of feelings.
Yeah, 100%. There's people in my life who were around the last time the Knicks won their championship in 1973. It was the second championship. That core of players led by the late great Willis Reed, and of course Walt Clyde Frazier was the star point guard on that team. And that team, those players are beloved to this day. And so many people got into basketball because of what those players, those teams did. And the Knicks came close in the 90s, obviously, with Patrick Ewing. And then just the last 25 years, they have been inept. Since Jalen Brunson showed up, the 22 years prior to him arriving from the last Knicks title appearance, they had the worst winning percentage in the league. They had 4 playoff wins total. They won 1 playoff series in that time. It was with Carmelo Anthony, a short-lived run at 2012, 2013. So this is a loyal fan base that's really had nothing until the last couple of years. So the fact that it is, again, that team that kind of unites everyone. There were people that really never thought they'd see them win again. I have someone very close to my life who's 72 years old and is like, I am going to die before any of my teams ever win again. And I'm just so happy for those fans. I'm happy for all the people who are around my age who don't even have really those 90s teams with Ewing. I was alive, but I 6, 7 years old, I don't really know what's going on. So the fact that, these have been the best Knicks teams I've seen the last couple of years, for them to actually do it and get the job done, and just the way they did it with a dramatic, historic comeback in Game 4, it is, one of the more beloved teams, I'd say, in New York sports history, and it's also one of the more dominant teams we've seen, which I think is really unique to be a part of both those lists.
We're talking to Jake Assman of ESPN New York. Jalen Brunson, we all know the story probably by now, and a couple of years ago had a chance to make some more money, chose not to help them build a contender. It clearly pays off. Is the statue being built next week? Where's this guy stack up now in New York sports history?
It should be, right? It is surreal because there's no real direct comparison for Brunson. A lot of people will bring up Mark Messier because of what he did with the Rangers in '94, ending their drought that was from 1940, and it was a huge deal. But he was already a 5-time Stanley Cup champion by the time he got to the New York Rangers. People will say Brunson's got a lot of Derek Jeter in him, but Jeter was drafted by the Yankees. He's got a lot of Mariano Rivera in him, but Mariano was a relief pitcher. It's like he's a hybrid of some of the great winners and clutch performers we've seen, and he's one of the great underdog stories ever. He's a second-round pick. He's barely above 6'1", if that. And, he's going head-to-head with a 7'5" unanimous defensive player of the year, and he had a Jordan-esque closeout game. I mean, he scored 45 of the Knicks, 94 points. It was surreal to watch what he's done the last couple of years, and he is on his way to being a sports immortal. Like, when we talk about the all-time great athletes in New York sports, he's going to be mentioned because he's the guy that helped lead this team to a title, ending 53 years of just pain and misery. I mean, he is truly like the safest person in New York right now. He is probably the most popular Q score rating you could have at this point.
Alex is too young for this, but it was at Kemper Arena when the Kansas City Kings were playing the New York Knicks, and Bernard King, that was on his way to being a superstar. He's averaging 32 points a game. Between that injury happened in March, he didn't play the next season, but that was an ascending star. That just shows you how old school, Jake, man. Bernard King, remember him?
Before my time, but my stepdad's favorite player was Bernard. And a big point of contention in Knick history is if Bernard King had stayed healthy, we could have seen him play with Patrick Ewing, and that could have been the scorer that Ewing needed to actually get over the hump and win a title, right? Those Knicks teams for Ewing, it didn't line up, and it's unfortunate. But anytime you go to a Knicks game, Bernard is there a lot, and he's shown on the screen, and he gets a huge ovation because, again, this is a fan base that's incredibly loyal to a bunch of guys who came close, and now this is a Knicks team that didn't come close. They got it done, and they are as popular of a sports team as you will ever see in the city's history.
All right, before we let you go, though, Jake, Madison Square Garden, you got the Knicks and the celebration and everything, but there's a wedding taking place next month as well with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Can you be our correspondent? Can we sneak you in somehow? If so, we need you to call in early July, if you don't mind.
I don't know if my credential will get me in, Alex. So, if you guys got Travis's people on speed dial and want to make it happen, I'd be happy to report for you guys.
Perfect. We'll check in on that then.
What's that cost at Madison Square Gardens?
They said $1 million a night.
$1 million a night. Huh?
Yeah, $1 million a night for the wedding. Jake, appreciate it, man. Congrats to your Knicks. Enjoy. You going to the parade? I take it.
I will be there on Thursday. Our station is broadcasting from it somewhere in the craziness at City Hall. So it's surreal. I never thought I'd see this team actually win. So it's awesome, and it's so cool to be able to experience this with so many people that just weren't alive the last time they did it. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Awesome stuff. There you go. Jake Asman from ESPN New York, also the host of the Jake Asman Show as well. Known him for a while, going back to our Houston days, and he's a diehard Knicks fan, man. So for him, like I said, I'm happy. Some other people we know that are Knicks fans, happy for the individual stories along the ride there in New York.
That's what reminded me of the Kansas City Kings, because it was a rising star. He was averaging 32 a game, and he gets hurt in Kansas City.
Yeah, so that's
the snake bit.
The scene on Thursday when we see the visuals and the overhead scenes, I'm sure from helicopters and stuff of Manhattan. He said, what did he say? 5 million people expected. That is, it's hard to even fathom what that's going to look like on Thursday in New York. So there you go. Just wanted to check in and see how they're feeling over in New York with the Knicks. And make $1 million a night is actually what the Madison Square Garden costs to rent, if you were wondering, for your future weddings and stuff.
What did they sell her seat for? Didn't they sell her seat? The
Cavs did. The Cavs sold her a seat she sat in during the Eastern Conference Finals.
Would they sell that for?
What was the final price? I don't know if Drew remembers. Swift.
We looked and it still had 6 hours left, so I don't know if I never looked.
$7,000, which seems low, actually. Seems low, does it not? Like, I thought it was going to go for like 10 or 20. Anyway, sold for $7,000.
It's a seat. They were trying to do too much by selling it.
I don't know why it wasn't even for charity, was it?
Nope.
That's the part I can't get over. Is like, if you're going to do it for charity, fine. It was just for the Cavs to profit off of? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And the auction house did not put her name in it. They weren't allowed. They just said from one of the biggest music artists in the world, 14-time Grammy Award.
I love this text from the 816.
Okay, what is
the topic is New York Knicks basketball, and only Bing could make a Chiefs reference. Well, that reference was.
Yeah.
That reference wasn't bad because the Chiefs took 50 years to win, and they took 53 win. It's 5 decades.
In Bink's defense, you're supposed to localize content. That's what you're supposed to do.
And I also brought up Bernard King getting hurt in Kansas City, so
I laughed when
you
you
got to
brought
be old school to be a Kings fan.
I do laugh when the Bernard King question didn't make me chuckle because
you got to be old school to know.
Because you said, "Hey, Gold, this is a little bit before your time." And then you asked Jake, and I know Jake. Jake's 4 years younger than me. So then you said, "Gold, you're too young to know." And then you asked Jake, "Do you remember Bernard King?" So I laughed because it's like he's even younger than I am.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the Chiefs that
I know.
Before your time. I mean,
For sure.
you know about Otis Taylor.
If you're a sports fan, you know the players long before you were watching. But
my thing is they're snake bit because Bernard King was a rising star that jumped up to 32 points a game that year. Then he had that ACL against the Kings.
Yeah.
Reggie Theus and the Kings.
Yeah, I'll always be disappointed that we don't have an NBA team, and I was way too young.
Man.
I was not born when the Kings were in Kansas City. Just to give you an idea.
I did not follow them with Sacramento. I was like, I'm done.
Now, did you go to Kings games?
I went to a lot of Kings games
at Kemper.
When I was a kid, but I went to a lot of Kings games.
Yeah. Dumb question. Were all their games at Kemper, or did they ever play at Municipal?
We played at Kemper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We're never getting one back, I'm afraid.
But I was going to a lot of Kings games.
NHL maybe one day.
It was great going to Kings game, going to Royals games. I mean, the Royals were rocking and rolling. It was pretty much my whole youth. Was that the 1980 World Series?
Yeah, as we talked earlier, sports droughts, now that the Knicks are done at 53 years, try to think next. I mean, I think you probably look at an NFL team and based on just their quarterbacks, you would say, as crazy as it sounds, like Buffalo or Cincinnati, somebody like that, just because they already have the quarterback in place. Cincinnati, I just struggle to get there because of their head coach and still just that organization. Buffalo at least has been in AFC title games here with Josh Allen, but
I just think the biggest pain would never go into the Super Bowl. These teams have never even gone to the Super Bowl. That'd just be the biggest crush, man. You haven't even been there.
Like Cleveland?
Yeah, like Cleveland, Detroit, just,
obviously Houston and Jacksonville are newer franchises.
Yeah, but these old school ones like Detroit, so it's just never being there, never getting a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's why when the Chiefs were on a run, it's like pinch yourself because stuff doesn't happen very much. When, again, you went 50 years.
Oh, we're spoiled now, but like I said, it was not that long ago where anybody in Kansas City that grew up here or whatever, like we had a 50-year drought. And that less than 10 years ago. Like it's, and so you people assume like it's always been this way. No, like outside of Kansas City assume that. It's like, no. Chiefs fans had plenty of heartbreak, plenty of disappointment, 50 years of it, and plenty of, we don't have to go back through. We all know about Lynn Elliott, et cetera. Like plenty of moments. It's just now we're living in the golden era of Chiefs football, and it's a hell of a time.
They won one playoff game in 24 years or 25 years. Mm-hmm. And Mahomes won the second one. Alex Smith actually won that one playoff game, the first time in 21 years when they won down in Houston. I mean, kids were born in a bar legally drinking in the span. The Chiefs didn't win a playoff game. It wasn't always this way.
Yeah.
Drew,
you've seen the videos of Knicks fans crying, and there were Chiefs fans that cried. Would you get emotional like that and like cry if Cincinnati ever, in all seriousness, I know we give you a hard time, would you?
I don't think so.
No. But you'd go to the parade or something.
Oh,
You'd get to Cincinnati. Right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same way if the Pacers would have won last year in Game 7, I would have found a way to get there. Bing, somebody wants to know if you remember when Daryl Dawkins, a.k.a. Chocolate Thunder, I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I remember the dunk. I was not there.
You remember the dunk when he broke the backboard?
Was not there for that.
One of the best nicknames in all sports, Chocolate Thunder.
It used to be the Omaha Kansas City Kings.
I remember
that was after they were the Cincinnati Royals with Oscar Robertson. Shout out to Indy native Oscar Robertson from Crispus Attucks.
Yeah, the Kansas City Kings were fun, man.
Dr. Dunk.
Lost the team to Sacramento.
That did happen, Bink. It did, in fact, happen. All right, up next, let's get to what's trending, plus a crazy story out of Brazil, and we'll talk a little bit more about the U.S.'s performance on Friday and what to expect later on this week.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 22nd, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the Pillars of Strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the Pillars of Strength.
Father's Day's right around the corner, and if you're looking for a great way to treat Dad, just make one stop at Hy-Vee. They have absolutely everything you need to make it his best day ever. We're talking about the best beef in the Midwest, from massive T-bones and grass-fed fillets to incredible Wagyu strip loins. Plus, you can grab a bottle of top-shelf whiskey from the spirits department or save 40 cents a gallon when you buy $50 and select retail gift cards. Skip the stress and get everything you need to celebrate Dad, all in one stop, only at Hy-Vee.
This Father's Day, crown your dad King of the Grill with a best in the Midwest thick-cut steak from Hy-Vee. Your dad deserves only the highest quality, hand-selected Midwestern beef. This Thursday through Sunday, stock up for summer during Hy-Vee's biggest steak sale ever. Score huge savings on all of Dad's grilling favorites, including T-bones, fillets, ribeye, and strip steaks. Don't miss the biggest steak sale ever this Thursday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
So, you're ready to propose, huh? Yeah, man. She's definitely the one. What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler. I could use some help with that. Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
This Father's Day, spoil your dad with everything Gates Barbecue. Be sure to visit your local grocer for Gates sauces and seasonings. Both are delicious on meats, fish, chicken, veggies like broccoli and spinach, and on hot buttered popcorn, even as a topping for dips, or sprinkle Gates seasonings on chips and nuts to add that extra flavor pop. Nothing says Father's Day like a Gates party tray, sure to please everyone at the table. Be sure to prepare your Father's Day meal with Gates sauces and seasonings. So head to Gates Barbecue this Father's Day. Gates Barbecue, thanks with love.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Father's Day, go big for Dad. Celebrate Father's Day with 5 courses fresh from the wok fire. Enjoy a 5-course celebration experience starting at $89.99, featuring premium entrees like New York prime strip steak tataki, oolong chili and sea bass, and lobster and prawn fried rice. Bold flavors, sizzling favorites, a meal made to impress. Because Dad deserves more than just a dinner. He deserves a celebration. Celebrate Father's Day with some sizzle. Only at P.F. Chang's.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Join us on June 18th at Minsky's in City Market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for our U.S. Open watch party as Cody and Gold broadcast live starting at 10 with your chance to win an official Sun Cruiser golf bag and more. Presented by Sun Cruiser, the official canned cocktail of the U.S. Open. 96.5, The Fan.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $49. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Come score the shirt with 96.5 The Fan as we'll be in the Lightwell office building at 11th and Main in downtown KC Mo every Wednesday between 11 and 1 during the World Soccer Championship, giving away shirts, gift cards, and more. Lightwell, managed by Area, owned by Samara Road. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, the Royals. Couple news items for them. One, the unfortunate news, Vinny Pasquantino going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with that right hamate fracture. Could be longer than that, hopefully not. The Royals are in the nation's capital tonight to begin a series with the Nationals, 5:45. First pitch, Vern's on Deck Show at 4:30 here on 96.5 The Fan. During the last 10 minutes or so, the Royals did make a minor, I'll call it a minor transaction. They have acquired relief pitcher Connor Siebold from the Toronto Blue Jays for Dennis Samudio, I believe is how it's pronounced. I don't know. He's a 21-year-old prospect and cash considerations. Carlos Estevez transferred to the 60-day IL. I think it's fair to say he's not pitching in 2026 after that opening series performance. What a disastrous year it turned out to be for Carlos as well. If you're wondering about Connor Siebold, he was designated for assignment by the Blue Jays. So this is a guy that they were willing to just move on from. The Royals basically claimed him and made a trade to make it happen.
19 innings pitched so far. 1 day away from the first FIFA Cup match here at Arrowhead, or Kansas City Stadium, as they call it. Argentina and Algeria. U.S., of course, taking care of business. 4-1 win on Friday. That was fun. Of course, they play this Friday as well. Hope you can come join us out at the out in Belton. Now we'll take on Australia Friday. So Australia, they're playing Friday much earlier. I think it's a 2:00 game, so much earlier than waiting towards night. But Kansas City, number one in the ratings for Team USA, which
on
is
Fox. 9.2 television rating on Fox, beating out every other market. Boston was number 2, San Diego 3, Dallas and St. Louis all tied for 3rd in TV market. If you combine even if you combine Fox with Telemundo ratings, the Kansas City still was 4th in.
Oh wow, there you go.
Or 5th. I'm sorry, 5th. LA, no surprise if you combine Fox and Telemundo. 13.4, Miami 12.4, Houston 9.6, Dallas 9.4, Kansas City 9.4. So pretty impressive. Elsewhere on what's trending, training camp schedule out for the Chiefs Thursday, July 30th. That's the first practice open to the public. There is a season ticket holder day the day before. Also Tuesday, August 4th, Chiefs Alumni Day up in St. Joe, Family Fun Day. Saturday, August 8th, and then the last day of practice. They always do this. I think it's a really cool Military Appreciation Day. Thursday, August 20th. We will be broadcasting live in St. Joe. I don't know which is the first day, but I'm guessing we'll at least be up there on July 30th, and for the first couple days there of camp. But I believe, talking to Spec already, we might be up there for 15 shows, guys.
Wow. They actually
my second summer home, St. Joseph, Missouri.
The Chiefs are actually doing this. Remember last year they didn't do rookies and quarterbacks. They did them all, kind of everybody together. But the rookies and quarterbacks report on Friday, July 24th. So the Chiefs already a good, 5 days there before the practice goes closed to the public. But they actually show up Friday the 24th.
There you go.
So,
what do you bring? Would you been the guy with the microwave and the small TV? What would you? I can imagine.
You got to bring video games and everything
Bink
else.
showing up to training camp. If they put you up in a dorm, Bink, if they offer Jay Binkley dorm, you can come up there, you can sit and watch practice and stay. Would you stay in a dorm for a month if you could?
Yeah, TV for sure. Just bring the TV.
Can you imagine? Bink actually.
You got free food. You got free everything.
Just park Bink up in St. Joe for a month.
All you would need is an Xbox for College Football 27, a TV, and a.
We used to spend the night here at the station.
I know, that was a thing back in the day.
We used to spend the night up at the station. We'd stay in hotels, Drew. We'd stay up there the whole time. So
back in the Uncle D days.
I've lived many a days in St. Joe.
Bink misses the Uncle D days.
Oh, I do. That was so fun.
I was an intern back then. I did one show from there as an intern / part-timer.
I remember that night. Because I took
Ryan
Wachowski out. Yeah,
we had a hell of a night. He was feeling it the next morning.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
And that's all what happened the night before, which we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup Finals wrapped up last night. Carolina Hurricanes won 3 games in a row against the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, you have the Kelly Cup as well with the KC Mavericks down 3-2 now in that series.
Are they back home? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold.
Well, when I saw Australia win the other day, I don't have Ozzy's number, but I thought of Ozzy. I was like, dude, he's got to be loving this right now. So, Ozzy, if you're listening, congratulations on the opening dub.
I'll shoot him a text.
Game 6 for the Mavericks is tonight. Game 7 would be Wednesday, the 17th.
I can only imagine he was probably going nuts. It's gonna be Ozzy versus
the
us
U.S.
on Friday.
That's right.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Don't forget, in addition to that, Bink, you and I will be at Minsky's in the River Market on Thursday.
U.S. Open, baby.
Actually, for the U.S. Open is why we're going to be out there. One of the golf's majors coming up this weekend, and so we'll be hanging out. Look, they'll have the TVs on some soccer too, I'm sure. But we'll be hanging out there, and we've got a really cool Sun Cruiser golf bag. I think we're giving away while we're up there. But you and I on remote, Bink. I don't know if that's ever happened. You and I together doing a show on a remote. I don't know if we've done that.
I don't know.
I certainly haven't done a remote from River Market, so I'm excited about that.
One time, I'll tell you this. This is back before Alex had interned here, and then he had other jobs in other cities. But, Drew, there was a time where Alex Gold and I spent a couple of good days there in Dallas, Texas at the Big 12 Media Days.
There you go.
We went to the Fox Sports had like a little party, so Alex and I went for the free drinks and the food. Barry Switzer was there and got a Switzer selfie.
How many waters does Bink have on Thursday? How many?
Oh.
5.
If I'm not mistaken, I took you to the Angry Dog as well. We went to the Angry
burger
Dog.
place.
Yeah, the
You
burger
really
place.
think he's gonna have 5 of them
this Thursday? Yeah.
He's gonna be feeling himself a little bit.
Waters and the I'm gonna eat a lot of Minsky's pizza. And it will go down.
So I hope to see you guys at Minsky's on Thursday.
Let's hope it goes down, Bink.
In the River Market. Bink's going to be around town, guys. If you ever said, hey, I haven't seen Bink in a while. Thursday, we'll be at River Market. Friday, you'll be with Logan. Friday, you'll be with Logan at the Peanut.
U.S. Open and World Cup the next day. Mm-hmm. Sports everywhere, man.
It's a busy summer, busy time.
Would you rather win the U.S. Open? What would be the one golf major?
Individual?
Win? Yeah, if you'd win one major, what would it be?
Oh, the Masters. That's the best. That's the Super Bowl. That's the Masters.
U.S. Open's so tough, though, man. That
well,
course,
sure,
you
but you just
that,
asked me which one would you? The green jacket. I mean, everybody knows about the green jacket. Yeah, it's an easy answer. The Masters. If you can
I
only
don't think
win
it's
one.
that easy, but
I think it's close. But the Masters would be one for me, and then the Open.
I think I take the Open. U.S.
What's
Open
the last
first,
one? PGA, or would you say the British, or whatever they call it these days?
It's just the Open, I think now. But
yeah,
I would say Masters, British Open, U.S. Open, PGA.
U.S. Open, then Masters, then PGA, and probably the British Open.
Yeah, British Open would be last.
Because of the weather. This is horrible to play golf in. U.S. Open, though, is so they make those courses so tough, man. You win that thing. It's crazy.
Someone said, is everybody going to the Peanut on Friday? Is it like last week again? It'll be similar to last week. A different group of people will be there, but
different time, too. It's
different time. It's an afternoon. U.S. is playing Australia at 2 in the afternoon. Peel back the curtain a little bit. Friday is technically a company holiday, so that's why Bink and Logan are hosting from 11 to 3 at the Peanut. Now, I think I don't want to speak for them fully. I believe Mac and Dusty and Bob are going to be at that one.
They will be.
Drew and I were at the one this last Friday. We're rotating through. So I will not be there this Friday. Drew will not be there this Friday.
There'll be a good 5 of us there.
But there'll still be plenty of people from the station hanging out there. But it's just weird because it happens to fall. It is a company holiday that's observed, and so we've got some different
if they're handing out
scheduling.
vuvuzelas, you need to get yourself a vuvuzela.
Sure.
Yep.
Is that a must?
I get a video of Bink using a vuvuzela
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's perfect time to start drinking too, man. 2:00 on a Friday.
It
Are you
is.
kidding me?
Well, you're on the air till 3, so you're going to
drinking
start
those waters.
Waters, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we've never drank liquor in broadcast.
I think we should get Vern to show up. I just want to. I know they had him on this one. I want Vern and Bob in person talking it out.
At what point do we consider trading Bobby?
Not anytime soon. What's your answer to that question? Yeah, what do you say? I mean, why are you bringing that up? Why would you trade Bobby Witt Jr.?
We're just.
I mean, I know Fesco's dumbass says that in the morning, but he doesn't know anything.
Vern,
Boy,
man.
when he joins them this week, that's going to be.
He did already this morning. It already happened this morning. Yeah,
this morning.
it already happened this morning. I'm saying in person. In person.
I'm going to throw hands.
Someone's mad that I said Friday's a company holiday. It's a federal holiday. Yeah, it's still a company holiday. I don't know how you want to phrase it. I get the damn day off. It's a company holiday. Whatever. It's the same thing.
The beer will be flowing.
Anyway, let's get back into something we discussed a little bit earlier on in the show, and that is the Chiefs with the most pressure in 2026. I think we have some of the same players, but our list is a little bit different in terms of the order. You said Josh Simmons is top of your list, Bink. Arrowhead Pride put together their list of players with the most pressure in 2026. I agree with you. Josh Simmons, he's number 2 on mine. The reason why I don't have him as number 1 is because I think Rashee Rice has more pressure than anybody else on the roster heading in. Individual, optics, all of it. One, the Chiefs deeply need him to be a legit number 1 receiver this year, or they're in big trouble in the wide receiver room. Number 2, for him, I think it's pretty obvious. It's a contract year. The other part of that situation is, fans, understandably so, will be ready to pounce if he drops footballs, if he underachieves, if he's not available, if he's lazy, whatever it may be. Fans are done with it, right? So I think he has the most pressure of anybody on this team. And then I'll go with you with Josh Simmons, right? He missed randomly 4 games last year. He was your top pick. He comes into OTAs underweight, even if he's jacked, but he admits he needs to put on some weight. I think there's plenty of pressure on him, but he would be number 2.
I just think it all starts and ends kind of. The Chiefs have been trying to figure out this mystery with the tackle situation. From the right side, Juwan Taylor wasn't quite what they wanted. Obviously, he's gone. Left tackle is going to be Kingsley in the draft 2 years ago. That didn't work out. He's now your guard. Then you go back in the first round, you get Josh Simmons there. It's been so important for him to kind of build up that. You have a quarterback now 30 years old, coming off an ACL, the pass protection that you want to see. Give Mahomes that extra time to bring Xavier Worthy back to that receiver that you drafted, getting down the field. I just think there's so many things in the equation. Then, of course, if he goes down and gets hurt, then you have to move a right tackle over to the left side. Maybe you're moving Jalen Moore. He wins the right tackle spot, and you're moving him back over to the left tackle spot with him. But I think so much hinges on this offense, and, of course, getting better at the run blocking for Josh Simmons with this, with drafting Emmett and bringing in DeMarcado and Ken Walker and this, going to the running game or emphasis on the running game. That's why I'm not quite as worried about the wide receivers. I still am very worried about the wide receivers, but at least there's a running game, and it's not Isaiah Pacheco to pick up the slack. There's legitimate running backs in Kansas City. That's why I went.
How much time? We were talking about this either last week or the week before. Bink, how much time do you think Emmett Johnson actually gets, like running back split wise?
And
there's
not many.
Based on what you would do, based on what this team likes to do with rookies, etc.
Probably not a lot of snaps. It depends on DeMarcado. Like, what's he going to bring to the table? Can he be that guy that's going to be behind Ken Walker and doing a lot of the damage? Obviously, Ken Walker's going to get a bulk load of the carries. Can DeMarcado, get that? Will Emmett maybe he goes and showcases himself, and it's like, whoa, he really has
I think
something
fans
there.
so desperately want Emmett Johnson to have a role. I just don't know how early on in the season. This
may take 5 or 6
This will be a
weeks to get after
conversation during camp and everything. And I think he's a player that folks are going to be excited about because he's going to show up at camp and I think give you reason to be excited. I just don't know what kind of role he has early because I think DeMarcado has the leg up as the number 2 running back for this team initially. But as far as most pressure, yeah, Kenneth Walker's on the list. I have Rice, then Simmons, then Worthy, then Walker if I was to rank out the pressure. The reason why Worthy's ahead of Walker is for the obvious, right? This is a make-or-break type of season, I think, for Xavier Worthy. Which path is he headed on career-wise? Is he going to take the leap to being north of 800 yards and on a track to hopefully being a 1,000-yard receiver one day in his career? As a first-round pick, it's a pretty reasonable expectation. I don't think he's a 1,000-yard guy this year, but to say that you want him to be that eventually. And then the fact that he was hurt all of last year, can he stay healthy? So that's where I'm at. Notice none of us had any defensive players really towards the end of the list.
Yeah, towards the end is the collection of pass rushers. Who's gonna stand out? Who's gonna be that guy? And what do the Chiefs have in their rookies? Because a lot of times, can you really count on the rookies? Ashton Gelati was their rookie of the year. A year ago, did he really stand out to you and say, well, that's a guy they can build on there? And they do like him, so we'll see he's going to be in this equation, but I think the pass rushers do matter. But to me, Rashee Rice, too, the good news about Rashee Rice in the situation the Chiefs are in, it's honestly tailor-made for them. It's actually the perfect storm for the Chiefs, that you have a player like Rashee Rice on a contract type year to go out and make money. So not only does he need to help the team, but help himself. So you got a player with a lot of motivation. Not like you just, threw out you broke the bank, you gave him $25 million a year extension or $26 million a year. That's not there. You always have to worry about people's, attitude, incentive, what kind of football player they want to be. But when you're that way and you're seeing Rice and you're seeing all these other players that were drafted when you were, and they spent 3 years in the NFL like you did, and they're getting extended, their bank account's getting 25 to 30 million, and you're still making second-round money, and you had to pay all this extra money you did in legal fees and everything else, and you're not getting these endorsement deals or going and throwing footballs at a dealership like Tyreek Hill did. You're not getting that kind of stuff. You're not even getting Nebraska Furniture Marts type deals like Isaiah Pacheco had. There's a ton of incentive. The Chiefs are the beneficiaries of this. The Rice needs to go out and have a great year. You're banking on this. You didn't give him that cash now. He's going to go out and earn it, but they're in a perfect situation with that player.
Defensively, who would be maybe you want to put it into a group, but defensively, who would be the number 1 player with the most pressure? I think Mansour Delane's very high on that list because he's the 6th overall pick in the draft.
But being a rookie, there's going to be a learning curve, especially with defensive backs as far as that's concerned. But Noel Williams, they liked what they had in Noel Williams, and keep in mind they made this decision before going into the draft of which direction to go, and they put a lot on Noel Williams, and who knows if that's what the Chiefs, they wanted to go cornerback, but that wasn't a guarantee that's where they go in the draft. But without Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, there's going to be a lot on Noel Williams' plate. Being a year 2 player in the system, you get the kind of rookie bump out of the way. And again, a lot of people look at Noel Williams now as a first-round pick if you redrafted the situation. But I think just being here last year, there's a lot of expectations on Noel Williams. Not saying Mansour doesn't have it, but he is a rookie, and you understand that rookie mistakes do happen with players, but Noel Williams doesn't have those rookie mistakes to make an excuse for on now when it happens because it's year 2.
A lot of texts coming in about Chris Jones. I mean, I think there's definitely pressure on him. This could be his last year in Kansas City, depending on his performance. Now, what's the pressure? Is it just that you expect him to be what he was a couple years ago or where he's at? Because the days of him being a 14-sack guy, we're past that. But I think there's pressure, and understandably so. I need him to be a 10-sack guy again. Do you think that's even possible? We talk so much about players aging out and how Kelsey's production might dip, but everybody still expects Chris Jones' production to still be near double-digit sacks. He's getting compensated that way. His cap hits $40-something million.
It's always tough to say pressure on somebody that's going to the Hall of Fame with 3 rings. I mean, it's always tough to put pressure on that.
Because otherwise, this list, Mahomes has the most pressure, actually, if we're doing it by that. Because he's the quarterback for your team. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's fair.
But being a mentor, because guys like Peter Woods, going to Chris Jones, guarantees going to be a sounding board for a lot of players, rookies and everything else. So the Chris Jones veteran leadership, I think, take center stage this year with the Chiefs.
I think Karlaftis has pressure, not from money standpoint or needing to prove the contract as much as it is even just because there's so many question marks on the rest of that line at the edge spot. Like I know that Gelati's coming into a second year, and then you drafted R. Mason Thomas and all the other things, but George Karlaftis needs to have a good season just to, hold down the fort in a way. Otherwise, it's going to be a repeat of last year. I think, we're all looking for the improvement from that defensive line, and I think Karlaftis, even if it's not necessarily getting the same numbers, or maybe it is getting the same numbers, but if looking more effective than at times where it's like they're just not able to get to the passer. Like they would just disappear, it felt like at times on the defensive line. Like I think George Karlaftis is under some pressure just to carry the weight, at least until R. Mason Thomas can figure it out, or until Gelati, gets going, and maybe George Karlaftis and Chris Jones are paired together in that same explanation.
And they're not too far away from this. I mean, keep in mind this team was number 2 in the NFL in sacks 2 years ago and the year before. Now, last year they took a slide back to 22, but this team did find a way to manufacture with Spags, with inside linebacker blitz and safety blitzes and everything else. They were number 2 in the National Football League in sacks, so it's not out of the question that they can get back there because they've done that with lesser talent before.
Well, I think that
much lesser talent.
I think that's the why. I don't know if I would even say there's as much pressure on Chris Jones as for him to get back to where he was, as much as there is for the rest of the D line to step up, so Chris Jones just doesn't get double teamed all the time.
Yeah, that's where Tonga.
That's the key.
I know we've differed on Tonga versus Peter Woods in year one. I think Tonga's going to play way more than people think. Because,
whoever it is,
I think about 50% of the snaps.
Either guy, Drew. Yeah, either guy. Hopefully alleviates some or opens up and alleviates some of the issues that Chris Jones has been.
And then naturally, I think his numbers will go just because I think he's still got a little bit of it left, obviously. But if somebody else can be there to, as you said, alleviate that pressure, then Chris just has to deliver in those moments where he does get the singles, and that's where Mason Thomas can be massive, or Ashton Gelati can be huge on the other side of that defensive line.
Well, Tonga's been about a 40% snap guy, 35 to 40%. So if he can hover somewhere between that and 50, I would say they utilize him.
I'm so thrown off. I'm looking at the TV in here. It's on Fox, of course, the World Cup going on, and they're about to start the Belgium and Egypt game, and they flash up the graphic, and we all know it, but still it said Seattle Stadium, and then it just looks so wrong. Like I just can't. We don't, because again, for NFL, we're not. It never just says Kansas, Dallas, Seattle.
Not Lumen Field or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think it is Lumen. It was CenturyLink or something like that, but it's Lumen.
It's the house that Sam Darnold built.
Okay.
Pretty sure Marshawn Lynch or Russell Wilson built that bad boy.
That's so disrespectful to the Legion of Boom and Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson. That's crazy. I know they won one, but